Story time. We got a red dot.
So when I was working at the theater, when I was managing out in Montrose, there was this kid named Andrew. And he was kind of
Andrew
dumb.
Corbett?
No. I don't remember what his last name was, but he was just kind of like a dumb, buff guy. So he just did, cleanups and trash. That was his only job.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to me and he's like, hey, I think that there's like a raccoon or something inside the trash compactor. And I don't want to open it up because I don't want to get attacked. I was like, all right, I'll help you out. So we walk back. He's got this big old thing of trash. I go over to it. I just take the key and go. I go, ain't no raccoon in there anymore.
You told this story. You're an asshole.
If he's still in there, he ain't happy.
I think we did it on Patreon content, like after work stories or something. But we definitely talked about
Holy
that.
shit.
Yeah. He was just like staring at me like blank face, like, what the fuck? And I was like, throw the trash in, get back to work.
Jesse's an asshole.
Dude, we had, I don't care about animals, man. Like, I know
wow.
The thoughts and comments of Jesse Young do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
we had these two geese that would attack people.
Our viewership just went down like half.
Oh, yeah.
You love animals. You foster dogs.
We're gonna feel
It'll
it this
even
week.
out.
Oh my god.
But
Geese at Montrose.
we had these geese at Montrose that would attack people like ruthlessly.
Bastards. Yeah.
They laid eggs like right in our front bushes,
The grass area.
So I'm like, well, why don't we just go out there and fucking kill the geese, like move the eggs or something? And they were like, we can't do it. It's federal crime. I guess they're endangered or something. You can't touch geese, can't kill geese. So I'm like, okay. So I waited for everything to clear out, waited for all the cops that worked at our theater and everything to leave. My boy, Kellen, won't say his last name for federal reasons. In a hypothetical situation,
This is
of course.
all allegedly.
Allegedly this
this
happened.
happened.
This isn't being framed well at all.
If we were to have done it, Kellen went out with a broom and just chases these geese across the parking lot while I grabbed like 6 eggs and put them in the back of the building so that they wouldn't attack anything. No geese problems anymore. It's all good.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, if it were to have happened. That's how it would have went
This is
down.
how he would have done it if he was going to get rid of endangered species of the Canadian geese.
I would have allegedly not killed them, so allegedly I didn't do anything wrong.
This is right.
They're mean bastards, dude. I got them at work.
Geese are fuckers, man. I remember one time my brother and I were driving and one was just waddling in the middle of the road, wouldn't move. He's honking its horn and everything.
Yeah, they
and
just
it
hiss
wouldn't
at you.
move. Yeah, they just hiss at you. It finally keeps waddling. He gunned it and just went boom, opened up the door and popped him.
Awful, man. You guys are the worst.
Hey, whatever. It's not a dog.
We don't condone Jesse's behavior towards animals.
It's a fucking goose.
It's goose. Guess we can't do an animal rights episode now.
Jesus. Jesse can't participate in that one.
I don't care about PETA either.
Oh my god. All right, we're going to start the show.
You know what time it is.
Podcast Tuesday!
Live from Made to Motivate.
Has the goddamn
Podcast.
Coca Cola's house on a Tuesday night? Damn it!
What up, guys? This is Made to Motivate Podcast, Season 2, Episode 24. This is your host, Ryan Weiss, and I am joined, not as always, by Nicholas Mancuso, because he is off somewhere frolicking on the beach with no mask, being a rebel. And Jesse from Sports Illustrated has taken the throne, and he's sitting in Nicholas's seat tonight.
Nick just sent us some awesome looking tacos.
Did he?
Barbacoa with guacamole and
Speak of the
looks
devil.
like Chihuahua cheese.
Oh, literally, he just did. Good damn. Those do look good.
Yeah, it looks incredible. There's some roasted peppers in there.
Where's he at? Man, that looks bomb. He is at, I saw he just checked in somewhere, Mezcalito Grill and Tequila Bar, Beaufort, North Carolina. Shout out, y'all. Those tacos look banging. And we're joined, as always, by friend of the show, Chris, the film freak, Kessinger.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, Zelda?
No, not too much. I know I got a rep. But yeah, you were talking about what episode number this is. Can you believe it's already 43 overall?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. 24 this year, and then we did
19.
19 last year.
Mhm.
That's
So
wild.
We're coming up on our
1 year.
year.
August 29th, I think, was the first episode we uploaded.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, so almost at 1 year. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in, listened, shared, disliked, or liked the show. Appreciate your support. What's going on? What's happened since last week, Jesse? Catch any hamsters? Let go any
No,
other rodents?
no, we got no problems with groundhogs or anything else anymore. No, me and my wife went down to see this place called the OtherWorld today. It's like an art exhibit. It was dope. It's down in Columbus.
Yeah. Where was it at? Is that like a museum that they do exhibits at, or?
No, it's just like a giant warehouse that they rented out.
Oh, cool.
And they converted it. So there's like 40 different scenes inside of it. There's just rooms that they put up.
Yeah.
And each one has like 3 different doors. So you just find your way through in a maze. You don't get a map. You don't get a, this is what it is. It's just there.
That's dope.
And like some of it is like real immersive, like sensory LED lights changing, mirrors and stuff. Some of it is like horror movie tropes. Some of it's like sci-fi. Like some of the things look just like they're out of Metroid or like stuff like that.
That's what I'd like.
Yeah, that's legit.
The one I was going to tell you about, Chris, was there was like a horror room. It was all like cemetery, just like weird, disgruntling imagery.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the trees was made entirely out of movie VHS tapes that were just like taped together, or not taped, but like probably glued, or I don't know.
Wow.
But then they strung out a bunch of the movie and wrapped that and stuff too.
That's dope.
And it was
pictures?
sweet. Yeah, I got pictures and stuff. I'm gonna post them on my Facebook.
What movies? What were some of them?
They weren't all horror movies, which I thought was kind of lame, but like Scary Movie was in there, Jumanji. There were like, most of them were turned around.
Scary movie?
No, they weren't supposed to be scary.
The
That's what I'm
book's
saying.
kind of creepy.
But yeah, most of them were turned around so you couldn't see what they were. I think there were only like 5 or 6 so you could actually see what they were. But yeah, Steph took pictures. I'd have to look at them and see exactly what it all was.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was cool. And then Chris and I went to the drive-ins yesterday. Saw Jaws on the big screen and Jurassic Park also.
I was like, wow. And
hold on, Jaws is better.
Wow.
For one.
I had that debate mentally
The
too.
thoughts and comments of Jesse Young do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Respect you have.
Okay, hold on. First off, Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it totally stands up to the test of time.
It really does.
But
Jaws is a good movie, but Jurassic Park?
Jaws is so good, though. Like, I remember when I watched, I forgot so much about that movie. When the kid gets eaten on the raft, and then it takes the guy next to his, sons on their sailboat.
Yeah.
Some of the most terrifying imagery in any movie.
The
whole thing is scary. The whole entire thing is scary.
Fantastic, but that's a hard debate, man. I'm Jurassic Park, no questions asked.
That's a tough debate.
Jaws is close, but
Jesse reminded me of his favorite scene was the part where the fisherman, I can't remember his name right now, in Jaws, the main guy, he goes on this long dialogue for about 10 solid minutes, and this guy's just rambling about his history, and you learn so much about the character then and just why he's so lethal as a poacher and all that.
They got eyes like a doll's eyes.
Yeah.
They're all black and lifeless.
He's got such a presence.
Bite you and they roll over white.
jeez.
I don't know which is better. They my personal opinion, they're both so damn good.
Yeah, story-wise, just
solid 9s out of 10s.
Held in, just watch the whole time. Jurassic Park just has me hooked, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws has slow moments and stuff. Jurassic Park is just go, go, go.
See, Jurassic Park has one slow moment for me, and it's right after it's right after the stampede when they're trying to get back, and there's like the fence and all that stuff.
And the sick dinosaur, and they gotta go for the poop.
No, that's early on when Timmy gets zapped by the fence.
Yeah,
that leading back to the fence after they got away from the T-Rex and stuff. That whole entire part is slow. For
I
me.
Gotcha. It's a hard.
It's
debate.
still great. I mean, they're both in my top 25 movies of all time, probably.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to this, leave a comment. Jaws versus Jurassic Park. What do you like?
Battle of the animatronic Spielbergs.
Yeah, we'll put up a poll and we will see what you all think. Movies. And you went to you helped me build my deck a little bit.
I did.
We got freaking stormed on like crazy. Thought I was gonna get struck by lightning 12 times.
How's the progress?
Slow and steady. I was gonna work on it today, and then I was like, I didn't feel like it. I was tired, so
Yeah, because why don't you tell them what you did this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? We went to my family's lake house for Father's Day and went boating, hung out in the sun, ate way too much food, per usual. That's all we ever do is eat. But it was a good time though. We just get away, man, just relax and stuff. So that was nice it was my brother's birthday today, Father's Day today. My sister-in-law's birthday was Friday.
Jesus.
So yeah, we had a little bit of celebrating to do. So it was cool. How about you, sir?
Well, Jesse took the one thing I was going to say was the drive-in. So that's like half my week
Jesse.
right there. The other thing, I've just been in search of the perfect noise canceling headphones. So
You gonna get those Sonys?
I'm definitely gonna get them. I found them as low as 140, brand new. So I'm definitely gonna grab them. Yeah. So next check is this week. I'll get them then.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're phenomenal, man.
I need you guys to come over and help me get that wallpaper off of my bathroom. I'm helping you with a deck.
Call me. Fuck wallpaper, man.
I know. That's why I need help.
So awful.
Old, isn't it? It's like fucking.
Dude, it's like the vinyl. It's not even just like paper. It's like this waterproof vinyl on top. And then there's a thick layer of like, it's almost cardboard.
Have you tried getting like a steamer?
So what I've got is I've got like your typical little perforator. I don't know what they're called. Puts all the holes in your wallpaper and stuff. And then I've just gotten super hot water with the
like vinegar or something, right?
I did fabric softener, they say works, which I mean it does, but because it's so thick, I'm pressing on that thing and it's barely getting through. So it soaks all the way through, but I take off one layer and I've got another one. I've got about a quarter of it done.
That's awful.
That's like 4 hours.
Just tear the bathroom down.
Dude.
Just tear the bathroom down.
Start
over.
It'd be easier.
The corner next to my what is it called? The vanity or whatever that holds your sink.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to the corner of that and I'm tearing it off and I get down and it's like drywall. And I'm like scraping off the wall and it's just drywall. And I'm like, somebody busted this corner out and just slapped a bunch of shit there.
Drywall mud on it.
God, it's going to be terrible. I'm painting right over it. I don't give a fuck.
Hidden secrets.
Right. Good God. Yeah. Other than that, nothing too exciting. Hopefully get the deck. I really love to have it done by like next weekend if possible.
Wow.
It's going to be hard,
That's
but
a lot.
I just want us to be able to freaking use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do a show out there or watch movies out there or something.
Well, I mean, the good thing with Ohio is summer kind of stretches into October even sometimes. So, you know.
Yeah, we got a lot of use still. It's early in the year. Although, like, with that point, I feel like I haven't done anything yet this year. Like, it's been nice. I haven't done anything. I would have liked to have gone to the movies. That would have been real nice to do. Mini golf the couple times we played, but
you'll get enough of that, believe me, in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Are you gonna get like are you gonna dig a fire pit or are you gonna get like one of those metal ones that sits actually on the deck?
Off the deck, off the backside, I'm gonna do. I don't know if it'll be this summer. I don't know if I'll get to it this summer. Maybe I'm gonna do a paver patio with a built-in fire pit.
Okay.
Nice.
So maybe it might be a next year project. So this year I might just have to get just like a ring, and just build one myself for now. But eventually I want to do the whole, like from the left side where my garage is over, because that driveway is all there, extend that over to the whole deck and make that all like a step down patio area with a retaining wall, like a bench wall, and then a built-in fire pit. Be dope.
It'd be dope.
I can't even imagine like where you even start with that shit. I am so opposite of you when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I have initiative, I just don't have skill.
That's why I'm doing it with him, because I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this shit, but I'll come and do it and then I'll
learn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's all for I guess us. What about what's going on in the world? You want to start with Made to Motivate and then kind of piggyback off of that?
I'm down for that.
All right, we'll start with Made to Motivate.
Start high,
right?
Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Mr. Shia LaBeouf, man of few words.
Shia LaBeouf.
I heard he's an asshole. Not that it has anything to do with this segment, but is he an asshole?
I think it depends on the time of year and when you catch him.
I heard a lot of people like don't like working with him and stuff, and he's supposed to be a big dick. I really like him, but
the best things that I've ever found on YouTube. Have you guys ever seen his "He Will Not Divide Us" thing that he did a few years ago when Trump first got elected?
No.
So he started a video protest that he set up a camera at this museum outside, and everybody can come into it and do whatever they want. They can flick the camera off. They can, advertise their T-shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
So he set this up to basically be a protest against Trump, and it backfired against him so bad. Like every right winger came by, and I mean, that's not my thing usually, but these are the funniest videos I've ever seen in my life, and I can't help but just feel bad for this kid. And he moved it 3 different places. He went to New Mexico, Italy, and they found it every time.
Oh,
like
geez.
they would go there and they would storm it and ruin the
Shit.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Dude, so good.
Is it like live streaming? Like, why didn't you just edit it?
It was live streaming, yeah, because
editing that would have to probably be if watch like every second.
it was 24-hour around the clock. So like it would stay on at 4:30 in the morning. It would still be on. You'd have random weirdos just show up and they'd look in the camera and they'd do like a Nazi salute or something. Like it was nuts, dude.
Way to go, Shy.
Yeah.
I really like him though. But yeah, I was talking with my brother today about him. I don't know what movie we were talking about, but he said that he just remembers hearing he's an asshole.
What's your favorite Shia LaBeouf movie?
I like Disturbia.
Me too.
I love Disturbia, man.
Roller movie.
Either one.
We were talking about Crystal. We were talking about Indiana Jones. That's how it got brought up. Crystal Skull.
Terrible. That's my least favorite Shia LaBeouf
Yeah,
movie.
that movie's not good.
Fury
is good.
Oh, he is good in Fury.
Fury's real good.
Fuck.
Favorite role, I would say the Peanut Butter Falcon. He was really good.
That's a good movie.
Never saw that one yet.
That's real good.
I know. I've been meaning to see it.
Have you seen Honey Boy?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, I loved it. He played his father.
Yeah, I want to see that real bad.
Is Honey Boy the
It's
one
about his dad.
Like an
It's
autobiographical
a movie
story.
he wrote, and he plays his dad.
I don't know that then.
Yeah,
Just came
it's
out last
real
year.
recent.
What was the one that he is that? I thought that was the one where he had the mentally challenged.
I think
co-star.
Peanut Butter Falcon. That was also
Okay.
last year. Yep.
He said that like changed his life. Like those
Yeah.
guys are like best friends now, and
Yep.
like
He brought him on like award shows with him to like. He was just on the Oscars, the Grammys or something. He brought him out to read one of the.
yeah, I need to see
line.
that.
Yeah, Zach
Honey-
Gottlieb.
Yeah, it's good. I own it. Digitally though.
Disturbia is probably my favorite Shia LaBeouf movie because it's just fun.
I love that. Man.
Yeah,
I watch it
it is a lot of fun.
nonstop, man.
David Morse is the neighbor. That's awesome, dude.
Right.
He's so
His
badass.
neighbor Ashley too.
Oh yeah.
You guys are gonna laugh at me,
Mm.
but Transformers 3, I love him in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just
I
something
didn't
about
mind
it
him
in that.
Transformers.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him in
I
Transformers.
honestly can't remember a lot past the first one now.
He's got Megan Fox. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who's now?
No, she's not Megan Fox in Transformers 3.
No,
it's
I'm just
that,
saying
Rose Huntley.
Rose.
I
Yeah,
liked when he was
So
with
much
her
better.
though. That's the blonde girl, right?
Yeah,
she's
way
cute,
better.
Too. Megan Fox is hitting it to MGK, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. How is he pulling all these like
Bro,
honeys, man?
good for him.
Jeez.
This is an awful segue into what we're really going to talk about.
See you
by the
till I
way.
die.
Jeez. So let's take like a brief pause here so we can have a serious conversation as
Good
we're a bunch of
Lord.
assholes talking
Yeah,
about.
we're fuckers.
So, Made to Motivate segment, we wanted to talk about Juneteenth, which just passed 2 days ago.
Friday, yeah.
On Friday, and talk about like just a brief history over it. It became a big thing. It should have been a big thing, but like with the George Floyd situation going on and Breonna Taylor and everything, a lot of companies and media and people took interest in telling more about it. My place of employment, we closed early. We closed at 1:00 on Friday to celebrate Juneteenth. I don't know if it'll become an annual thing where we close early or if we'll close like a lot of places. I know like Nike and the NFL and Amazon and a lot of these places
Mhm.
they're going to make it a national holiday now, and they'll be closed. It'll be a paid holiday. Well, Jesse, you're not working, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Did your place of employment do anything?
Mine, I was still working, but my bank, I had to hit up my bank after work, and they were closed. So
Yeah. So a lot of places either maybe closed early, closed altogether. But basically, Juneteenth is kind of the African American Independence Day per se. It's the day that they celebrate their independence because it's I don't know the general's name, but a general in Texas gave a speech that day, relinquishing, or setting free the last of the enslaved slaves because the Emancipation Proclamation was signed 2 years prior.
Right.
But with communication and stuff, then like it took time to spread.
Mhm.
And 2 years later, the slaves in Texas finally hear that they've been set free.
Right.
And he gives the speech saying, that,
From
everyone
the balcony of a plantation.
Right. Yeah.
So
And announced the full freedom of everyone. So it was June 19th. So that's what Juneteenth is. Sadly, I think I found out about it a year ago.
Mhm.
For many people, Jesse, I think Chris just found out about it. I know Jesse said that. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, it was like 2 years ago in the movie Birth of a Nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is something that's the relevance and the importance, obviously. I can see, understand why it came out now.
yeah.
Well, that's something that should be taught.
Well, that's the thing
Great.
that's crazy is it's like I know a couple of people who are like native Texans, and they said they've known about it their entire life, which, I mean, it originated there, so that would
Which
make
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
But like, I've always known that slavery didn't end when the proclamation was signed. Like, I always knew it happened 2 years later.
Right.
That was taught to me.
Yeah.
So why was it not taught that there's like this unspoken holiday that's pretty well known in various regions? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
My thing is, if we have Columbus Day, why can't we have a Juneteenth Day?
We absolutely should going forward. Get rid of Columbus Day.
Yeah, I'm all for that too.
Get rid of Columbus Day and then replace it with Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so then it's not like, oh, we just want another paid holiday. Like, I don't care about that. Like, let's just have it celebrated because it should be.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that it's good that it is finally coming to light. I mean, with everything going on, we've had a lot of motivation, and a lot of stuff picking up tread. You know, so I think it's really cool that it finally is getting talked about and people are acknowledging it.
Yeah. And I think it's even more than just acknowledgement. Like, we talked about the businesses and stuff, but even aside from that, like the Akron takeout group that I'm in, it's like 11,000 people or something.
Yeah.
They made an effort to say, hey, for the next 24 hours, all we are supporting are Black-owned businesses.
Yep.
Wow.
So we made the, fun things to do thing, and I just followed them. I was like, hey, any Black-owned businesses that do anything entertainment-wise, feel free to share them. And like that just blew up.
Yeah.
I found a great Cajun place because of that.
Yeah.
Marcus over on East Market Street.
Right next to
Fantastic
LaBelle's
Cajun.
Barber Parlor. Check them out.
And that Cajun place is Black owned?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Real nice guy too. Like, as soon as I went in there, he was just like, everything's good. Like, whatever you want. Like, he was like, fish is good.
Buy everything.
He's like, chicken's good, whatever. I got the jambalaya, I got the gumbo, and I got the mac and cheese. And all three were fantastic, but that jambalaya is probably the best I've ever had.
Yeah.
Wow.
It looked good. The picture you sent looked good.
And plus, just to throw it out there as a quick thanks, I asked him because they sell Impossible Burgers there. And I just like casually was like, hey man, like, does that stuff actually taste like meat? Because I've never had it. I eat burger. So I was just curious. And he brings out my order and he goes, made you a baby sized patty out of it just so you can try it.
Yeah.
Free, don't worry about it. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Tastes like meat.
Yeah.
As close as you can get. If you
I've had them.
It tastes like cheap meat. Like, it tastes like meat that you would get like those pre-pattied frozen meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tastes like meat though.
It's not bad. It's just not as good. It's not as much
No.
flavor to it. But
but
as a substitute,
if you seasoned it up and stuff though, and you gave it to me, I would not think it wasn't beef. I would just think it was a cheaper cut.
Does it ever have like the mushiness of the like the vegetarian burgers, for instance?
You cannot tell a difference.
Okay.
texture wise, color wise, everything looks like I had the Impossible Whopper from Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, identical with a little bit of a different taste.
Yeah.
The condiments and stuff because they put everything on the same thing they would on a regular Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
So like the condiments definitely helped, but otherwise texture and stuff, everything, they still flame broil it. It looked the same.
Has grill marks on it.
Yeah.
It's juicy and
it's not bad.
I heard though, and this is from Joe Rogan, so I don't know 100% on the validity of
Joe's
it.
Bible.
I trust Joe a lot, but he said it's terrible for you.
Oh, really?
Because there's so much fat injected into it, just like different oils and things like that, in order to maintain that flavor, that it's not any better for you than just eating meat.
Probably.
It makes sense because everything that's healthier for you always has an adverse effect too. Like, you go to McDonald's, you order a salad, and the salads are 5 times worse than
so much sugar.
Burgers, yeah. So there's always an adverse effect.
It's kind of weird though. It's like one of those things where a lot of people eat that way because for health reasons, but a lot of people just do it because the animal aspect of it. So they don't. So I don't know if they really care about that part.
Right.
They're just like, hey, I'm not eating an animal.
I mean, that's like that could be my cheat day too. If I'm a vegetarian,
right?
Give me the oil burger. I don't care.
Right.
I found out where the vegan lifestyle started.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't even know this.
Probably not.
The little girl from Jurassic Park, she started it.
What? Oh my god. You're stupid.
She was a vegan.
I remember that.
Vegisaurus, they'll probably make an exception for you.
Want this girl to die.
Oh,
I can't stand her. We're watching that movie, and Steph was like, I cannot stand this little boy. I was like, really? Because I can't stand the little girl. Like, she's the worst, man.
Jeez.
I wish she would have got eaten.
You guys are rough. As we stray aside. So yeah, Juneteenth. Look it up if you don't know about it. To Jesse's point, I mean, that's doing stuff like that's a good way to show support. to look up the Black-owned businesses in the area. You either donate or go there. But just look into it. We got to educate ourselves on these things because it's not being taught, amongst other things that we should be learning about, which we've kind of talked about on previous episodes. Just getting away from knowing our faults and the things that we've done in society and learning from them and teaching the things that we need to be teaching about the truths of our past and stuff like that. So
I didn't know about Black Wall Street until 2 years ago.
I didn't know about that either.
That was the first time I ever learned about it. I saw it on a Vox video, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
LeBron making a Black Wall Street movie, or he's helping direct or something?
I heard he was like a producer in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2022 is when they're aiming for it.
Yeah.
No title, no nothing yet. But yeah, Black Wall Street. It makes you wonder how much other stuff, though, that you don't know at this moment right now that you've never learned about that, we should be yearning for.
Absolutely. Because, our education system was started by white people. They're not going to tell a story how terrible of people they are.
Well, that goes for everything, too.
It's overhauled, man.
You always have one thing that exposes stuff. George Floyd exposed all of this stuff once again.
Yep.
Rodney King, nobody had known. But you don't know until you see it.
Right.
Emmett Till, nobody knew that people were out there. Like, they just didn't think about it. You didn't think about that people were lynching people in the most violent ways, and then you find out that they do this to a boy, and they released those photos, and people were like, holy shit, this has got to change. You just need one time for things to be seen and change can happen.
Yeah.
That's why I like all this information and stuff getting out there.
And I think it's the biggest testament to Floyd's legacy. And every victim, really.
Yep.
I think it's been their biggest testament to their memory is that this whole thing is leading to bigger and better change. And it's greater for everybody.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's what we got for Made to Motivate. Just something for you to think about. It just passed as a holiday or observation at this point. We'll see. I'm pretty sure they say they're going to declare it a national holiday. And then businesses can take their part in what they want to do with it. But something to look into and just think about with everything going on right now. Look to educate yourselves on more important matters than what just the media is telling you about, because I didn't really see that much about it, really. Like blurbs here and there, but like not like a real big overhaul on it. So
surprise.
Trump said he made it famous.
I did.
I saw that.
Let's get social. We can talk more about that buffoon.
It is July 20th, 1969, and man is about to land on the moon.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's the way the news goes.
Oh, Donald Trump. Yeah, this dumbass said that he made Juneteenth famous because he talked about it or something.
His rally was initially going to be in
Juneteenth.
Tulsa on June 19th, and people were like, you motherfucker, like, you're going to disrespect Juneteenth and Black Wall Street at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he got major pushback, so he moved it to the 20th, and he just said, his exact words were, it was the greatest thing that could have happened because it led to all this education, and I did the most, fuck him.
Yeah. Well, apparently everybody still thought it was on Juneteenth because nobody showed up on June 20th when the actual rally was. So he kind of screwed himself there.
Yeah.
Was that the reason, Jesse?
Dude. All I know is that myself and many, many other great patriots did their part in purchasing tickets to Trump's rally so that the seats would be empty. He was all week bragging about, we've got over 1 million requests for these tickets, hyping it up. It's going to be a sold out crowd. People are going to be clamoring at the door.
Right.
Everybody was all worried that there was going to be Trump, MAGA people versus Antifa clashes in the streets, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah.
He was saying there was going to be millions of people.
19,000 people in that stadium could fit, and they're estimating somewhere between 10 and 12.
Yeah. Thanks to Jesse and TikTok. It was a big thing on TikTok, too. People were posting on there the link and to go buy tickets so they just wouldn't show up. And it worked. They had to work hard, like Chris said before the show, with the camera angles to pan as close as they could so it looked full, because if you didn't know and you looked at the photos, it looked packed. Mm-hmm. But that was half of the stadium.
Yeah, it's separated into the lower level and the upper level, and there's not a single person in the upper level.
And the back half of the lower level.
I was going to say the
empty.
back half that they're not photographing from, I'd like to see because I don't even know on the bottom end how full it was. Because you know they cram those people as close behind him as possible where the cameras will be.
And to me, I don't understand, like, so the best way to stop that, I don't know if this is legal or not, if you can charge for a rally, but like, why not just charge for those tickets? Like, even if it's just $10, then people like you wouldn't, you know, sign up for it. You're not going to pay $10 to his campaign. That's how you stop that kind of thing.
That's true, though.
I don't see why you couldn't do
campaign
that.
funding. It's just money to go towards his campaign at that point.
Yeah, you do it as a donation or something. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that.
He set that up stupidly, so he deserved everything that he got there.
Right. So to that, speaking of campaigning and stuff still, you guys will have to correct this meme if it's right or not. Or not even a meme. I just saw online. Someone posted that you can still vote for Bernie.
Yeah.
He just ended his campaign.
Absolutely.
But
you can
he's
vote
still
for anybody.
a candidate. Yeah.
You can vote for me.
But I don't think people know that.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people think that like everyone knows. People don't even know how to fucking vote.
People vote for Mickey Mouse every single election.
But
Thousands.
I generally don't think people understand that because he ended his campaign, that you could still vote for him as a candidate. Like he didn't end his, what's the word?
I mean,
he didn't end like his contendership or whatever.
His
I don't know what
run.
the right word is,
Yeah.
but he just isn't campaigning anymore. I think it's important for people to know that. I didn't know that.
Well, he's not running anymore.
He stopped campaigning, but he didn't withdraw.
Right, but he's also endorsed Biden at this point. So he's basically conceded the fact that he doesn't.
But if you want Bernie, you could still vote for him.
Yeah.
You could, but don't split your votes because we don't want Trump again. Just vote for Biden if you don't like Trump. Just do it.
Don't listen to Jesse.
Listen.
Look up the policies and don't vote by party. Don't do that like always vote red no matter what or vote true blue, whatever the bullshit is.
Listen.
Look up the policies and vote educated.
My entire life, I have voted for policies. Voted not for Hillary or for Trump last one. I'm tired of this fucker. We're getting rid of him. Vote Biden if you don't like Trump. This message brought to you by Jesse Young and the Joe Biden Foundation.
Oh my
Joe Biden
God.
commented on that last statement Jesse made, and he said, "Yeah, vote for Joe Biden. He sounds like he's a great guy."
Blue wave, baby.
Vote educated. Don't vote by party, and don't vote just because you don't like someone. Vote based on their policies, and vote local as well.
Yeah.
Do that next time.
Oh my God.
The thoughts and comments of Jesse Young do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Jesse doesn't really mean it. He's just being an asshole.
Yeah.
So speaking of TikTok, scavenger hunt. What is it called? Randabout?
Yeah.
Randonaut?
Randonaut.
So Nick sent us. I didn't watch it. I was busy this weekend. I had awful phone service. Like I could never get a freaking signal. But Nick sent a TikTok video.
Bizarre.
And it was paired with I don't know. You guys watched it, so you tell. I didn't watch the video.
Go ahead.
So basically in the video, it looks like there's two girls. One's filming and the other one's looking down by the pier or something. And there's a suitcase they find and they're freaking out about it. They get a little closer and they say the suitcase smells, there's weird smells coming from it and all that. And they decide to open it. And they see a trash bag that's inside of it. And the trash bag is full of something. They don't know what. And they said they're just going to call the cops from there. Splices over to an article that shows that there was a dead body found inside of the suitcase.
So this like Randonaut thing is like an online scavenger hunt. You go on there and they like send you to random locations, and they were going and So like
that's the crazy thing is it's supposed to be random.
Yeah.
But apparently people are finding all types of weird stuff, and like I'm sure some of it is like somebody trying to just get popular on Reddit. They go and they make some weird thing and go,
Right.
"Oh, I found it on Randonaut. They're sending me to a satanic cult," because I've seen stuff like that.
Right.
But this was a legitimate thing. Like Seattle has like news all over about how this app basically led them to the remains of a dead body. And this is not a big suitcase.
That's sketchy, bro.
I mean, that dude was dismembered in there. If it was a full body, there ain't no way.
So that means that like the person that did it somehow like posted it on the app. Like, how does that work?
It's supposed to just be. So I think that the premise of the app is just like you have nothing to do, and for fun, like if you're taking a walk or something, it's going to give you a location, and then you just see what happens from there. Like, it's not supposed to be like anything weird. It's just supposed to be like,
they're not necessarily going to be anything there.
no, it's just supposed to be like, if we did it right now, it'd give us a location. We walk to it, and maybe it's like a new restaurant. Like, you're just supposed to do something with whatever the trip gives you.
Okay.
So either we find a restaurant on the way, or maybe we get there and we find like a cool little hangout spot or something. It's just to get you to like explore new areas.
Okay. So it's not like an actual like scavenger.
No, it's just like terrible luck on this.
That's not terrible luck though. That's somehow
terrible luck for the killer.
And that's, to me, the theorist in me. Like, I look at that and I go, like, what if, that was managed by somebody who actually was a killer, and they just sent them there as say, like,
that's what I was saying.
Here's my handiwork, enjoy.
So how does it? See, I got to look into it more then, because I guess then, yeah, maybe they weren't actually sent to that location.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened to be in the vicinity of wherever they ended up.
That's true. Maybe their location was around there, but they were just walking there and they saw
exploring
a
and they
suitcase.
found it.
I looked up the case. It is real.
Sketchy, bro.
That article's real.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess check out that app if you're interested in that sort of thing, because people are finding dead bodies using Randonaut.
If it sends you to Goodyear Park, say no.
So here's the exact. This is the description of the app. It says, adventure like never before. Wander into wonder with Randonautica, the official app of the Randonauts. Randonautica takes you on a journey of true randomness. The adventure is yours to have, and the legend will be yours to tell. Welcome, future Randonauts. This app provides you with a totally random coordinate set of within a set radius. You can then choose if you'd like the adventure to the point. And it's been said that the Randonaut community, that breaking out of what's called your probability tunnel can bring you meaningful experiences and provide great fun while journeying into the world around you.
Sounds like a crazy cult.
Well put.
It sounds creepy, bro.
It's basically sending you on walks that you haven't walked before.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's going to expand your mind.
It certainly did that, girl.
Maybe it's going to lead you to an upside down in a parallel mirror dimension.
Ooh, nice transition. We're back on it now.
Hey. Leah Broussard from Oak Ridge National Laboratory is apparently trying to unlock the upside down in real life. And I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Especially now of all things that are fucking going on.
I'm the only one that disagrees with you guys.
So Jesse and I had this talk last night. First of all, go ahead and say what it is. Like, explain this.
I don't know what it is. It's the upside. Legit, she's trying to unlock a mirror dimension where time goes backwards or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the upside down.
The time doesn't go backwards.
I don't know, bro.
Learn your science.
So
what is it?
My question is just from opening portals, what good comes from it? Like, what positively are you looking at? That's a legit question. What are you looking to gain from this?
Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
Oh, God, man. That's one of my favorite underrated horror movies.
Scariest movies I've ever seen.
Dude.
And that's like that. That's what I'm imagining with this is Event Horizon.
What a great
Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
No.
Bro.
What's Event Horizon? I thought that was a video game.
It's brutal.
Watch this
at
Sam night.
Oh, I watch all my horror movies.
You need to watch it tonight. Okay. I think it's on Netflix. Do you have Amazon?
Yeah, I have it all.
It's on one of the two of them, Netflix or Amazon.
What is it about?
Just watch it.
Portals?
Just watch it, bro.
It's one of those movies you want to know as little as possible.
You just need to
going
watch
into it.
Okay.
It's got Sam Neill, though, from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But I will tell you, we've talked about what movies have ever scared us, and I think I've always said Stranger Things, Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Scariest movie I've ever watched.
That I
No
can
shit.
understand.
Yeah. Scariest movie I've ever
So real
watched.
quick, getting into it.
But yes,
the story of this whole thing is, so basically this woman deals in some form of quantum physics or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. She deals in some type of particles, and apparently neutrons decay at a certain time. And that's just like scientific fact. It's always the same because it's just what happens. You decay in, I think it was like 14 seconds or 14 minutes, 14 something. But whenever they put them in these vials or bottles, they were decaying in 13. And that caused all of these questions because it's supposed to be impossible. So they're going, okay, what the fuck's happening? You know, why are these things disappearing? Blah, 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 blah. And they came to the realization or the hypothesis that they are somehow disappearing and going into a mirror dimension in the last minute or second or whatever it is. Now, why they get to that point, I do not know. They're scientists. I'm not. They're smarter than me. It makes more sense to them, I'm sure. But so now they're running experiments to try to essentially either bring that particle back or send one there. And as crazy as this all sounds, because it sounded like when you're reading it, it's like, okay, this is bullshit. Like, it's just disappearing early or something, you know, whatever. But they've teleported atoms. Like, they have teleported things like 50 feet, and that was years ago. So there's shit that people are able to do that we have not, and that's scientific fact proven, like whatever, like they're working on stuff that we do not know about. And to get to the point of like what exactly is the benefit of it, I think that it's just like one of those we want to know more type of situations where it's like, if we found out that there were multiple dimensions and there's another dimension where, you know, we're still doing this podcast, but I'm the host exists, then, you know, I think that would be dope.
But once that opens, man, like we'll say there's an alternate Ryan, you know, in this other galaxy. Okay. We'll call him Ryan Weiss. Okay. Right. And Weiss takes over Weiss. Okay. Kills him, takes over his life,
and comes here.
Whatever.
It's like fucking upside down shit, man.
It could be
like aliens or something.
Well, that's the thing is it's like
once you open it, it can't be shut.
Right,
bro. I mean, do we know that? I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. I mean,
seems sketchy to me.
It's definitely sketchy.
There's another Trump in that other dimension.
My thing. What if he's actually a good president in that one though?
Then we'll be fooled twice.
Oh boy!
Can we bring him back and swap him out?
Yeah, see, that's what we're doing here, people. We're
like
trying to make America great again.
It's like freaking you or us. It's like us.
It's like us, not you.
No, us.
You's just a stalker guy,
bro. Well, I mean, Trump fits that spot too. So
I don't know. Like, science stuff. Like,
I like science, man. That kind of stuff. I guess it's just so complex. I just can't even comprehend.
I am so on board with anything that advances us in any way. Like, I don't care, which I think is funny because you guys are the atheists and you're like, don't do it. And I'm the one that's religious and I'm like, fucking go for it. Like,
right. But
man, I don't know. Like,
I'm all for expansion of that kind of thing, but like time portals and stuff just seems.
There are already theories though that like we already know that time travel is possible going forward. You can't go backward. That's already proven. People think that there's time machines. And I saw a thing today that people thought that Donald Trump was a time machine time traveler. What? But it was stupid. It wasn't even close to legitimate. But like Interstellar is like one of the most perfect scientific examples of how time can work forward, how you can jump forward and stuff.
It's so complex though, man.
I had to watch it and watch like a million Neil deGrasse Tyson videos.
That ghost in the books, man, that whole thing, like once it goes into that, your mind just starts bending in ways it never has.
But there are scientists now that believe that we are currently inside of a black hole. Whether that's the universe was sucked into one and we're so far in that we weren't able to notice that, or whether it was like, you know, those hydrogen experiments that they were doing that people thought was a gateway to hell and stuff. But like they wonder if scientists might have opened one. But like there are discrepancies in kind of like the Mandela effect that we talked about last week, where people don't remember things the same way, where time doesn't add up the same way, where disappearances and weird things happen. And they think that could be caused by gravitational anomalies because we are already in a black hole. It's just big enough that
the whole universe
we're in there and we don't even notice it.
Man,
because you got to think, if we're
unsolved,
you would know. You know, we're just floating around in there. Who would know?
Ryan Weiss was last seen on this bench drinking a coffee.
All right, man.
I love that type of stuff though. Like aliens, scientific, like weird stuff. Bermuda Triangle, like sign me up.
I used to be big on the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, like I used to do all kinds of searches on that and everything. And some of those disappearances, a little strange to say that, you know.
Did you see they're bringing back Unsolved Mysteries?
No.
Oh,
you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the guy with the voice, that really cool voice.
I'm down because I am like you. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That weird off the wall shit.
But I watch a lot of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which I am not a huge BuzzFeed person because I just feel like it's too like on the nose with their like mission. But the two guys that do BuzzFeed Unsolved are great. Their chemistry is great. It's all just like, you know, unsolved murders, conspiracies. They've got one that's like, I think it's called BuzzFeed Crimes, or BuzzFeed Unsolved is the killings. And then the other one is, what's it called? I don't know. It's the same channel, but they do like different versions. And the one is all murders and the other one is weird stuff like Bermuda Triangle, Area 51, like all that type of stuff. And it is dope. Like they get all in depth and like, it's not anything that you probably couldn't find on your own, but it's all just culminated and it's stuff that it's not like commonly known.
It's packaged well.
It's really good. And their ghost stuff is really cool too. Cause I'm not like, I don't believe in ghosts, but just some of the stuff that they come up with, I'm like, ooh, it's a
Yeah.
little convincing. I don't know.
Do you think that stuff actually gets sucked into a hole in Bermuda Triangle?
I was huge on the Bermuda Triangle until I found out how many ships actually come out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think that.
Well, yeah, there's more majority that come out for
Yeah,
sure, but
yeah.
there's some strange disappearances.
My personal thought, and I read about this once a long time ago, so I don't have like the knowledge and everything on me right now, but I believe there was a study or something done that found that there was some form of like magnetic rock or something that's in the reef or in the, maybe it's the seafloor, whatever, in that particular area. And they think that just messed with the compasses so badly
That
at the time that they went astray, got lost at sea, and it was just a natural thing. I don't know how often any of that stuff happens now that we aren't on like magnetic based compasses. Right?
Yeah, not so much.
So I'm thinking that's like, for me, that's what I think. Bermuda's never been a huge thing for me. I'm more of like a aliens, Bigfoot type of person. Like,
That's strange.
dude, our area alone, like, Northeast Ohio going up into Peninsula
Bigfoot
is one
I
of
don't
the
believe in Bigfoot.
Peninsula is one of the most
Oh, yeah.
populated, like, Sasquatch finding places other than like the Pacific Northwest in the world.
Even if you look up the Peninsula Python, that's always a big one too. Like, yeah, there's a ton that's around there.
I think it's the second most sightings in America besides the Pacific Northwest are in Peninsula, Ohio. I know somebody who her uncle claims that she has one, like he has like recordings and stuff that I've heard that I cannot explain. I'm not a huge animal expert, but I know it ain't no damn animal.
You don't
I've
even
ever
like
heard.
animals, Jesse.
I don't.
That's true. We proved that before the show.
Dude, I'm down to go hunt a Sasquatch. I don't care.
I'm down too, but I don't believe in it.
You brought up unsolved mysteries, man. That used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. So I'd be like 7 years old sitting there watching that in the dark in my living room. And they'd be like, well, this killer's still on the loose. They still have not caught him. And the first thing I do is this.
Dude, always.
Because of course he's in your window.
Always looking over your
kid.
shoulder. Oh yeah, bro. I remember doing that. Like I'd always try and like have my back to like a wall with no window around.
Yeah.
Even now I'm like real cautious about that.
I remember as a kid, there was a news story about a guy who was basically like living in this family's basement and nobody knew.
Mhm.
It was just one of those like tabloidy, like, make sure you stay for 8 o'clock because we'll show this. But like whatever, the visual was just looking up the stairs out of the dark at like a woman standing up. It scared the shit out of me. I thought someone was in the basement.
That's it. That's the music.
Whenever this would come on, bro, it just creeps me the fuck out. You never watched it?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it.
And that guy's
I didn't watch it
deceased.
religiously, but I've definitely seen it.
What's his name?
Robert.
Pattinson.
Yeah, that music always used to scream. That X-Files too.
X-Files freaks me out still. That music is
X-Files
eerie.
X-Files is good.
I love those. I love those shows. I'm pumped that's coming back.
X-Files is coming back?
Well, X-Files actually we're talking about coming back, but no, Unsolved Mysteries is what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, because X-Files came back to Fox not too long ago, like a couple of years ago, and I never watched that one. But
Did it Mulder and Scully?
Yeah, I didn't get to catch it though. I was pissed because Prison Break sucked so bad when they brought it back.
Oh man, I never watched that.
What's the Pike something? Weird show from the 90s.
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Dude, don't get me started on
Is
Twin
it good?
Peaks. Oh my God, I love Twin Peaks.
Okay. Does it live up? Because I watched like one episode and I was like, what the fuck is this?
So it's one of those things where like, if you like it, you're going to really like it. But if you don't like it, you're going to really fucking
Not
hate
like it.
Yeah. And
I haven't watched it.
Season 3, they had a new season that came out like 2 or 3 years ago on Showtime. All the fans were happy because it came back 25 years later, which is what they said in the last episode. Ironically enough, he said, I'll see you in 25 years.
Nice.
Came back in 25 years. And the third season was a little off the rails, even for a fan like me. I'm like, this is a little too cryptic for my taste. But if you watch the first 2 seasons on Netflix, that's the accessibility.
I'm going to check it out.
You might get into it with
I've
that.
been told to watch it so many times.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it another go.
if you like The Killing, you should like Twin Peaks.
I love The Killing.
Yeah.
So what is it like X-Files-y? Because I'm like X-Files was cool, but I'm more of a Twilight Zone type of person.
There are some paranormal aspects to it that happen where you're like, wow, this is anything but real life. But it's not like aliens or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's spirits, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't want to say much. It's a murder mystery at first. Once they solve that in the middle of the second season, then it becomes something else entirely different.
Gotcha.
Twin Peaks.
Mhm.
Last thing we had on, I think the last thing we had for Let's Get Social was cruise ships.
Yep.
We were talking about Bermuda Triangle. Well,
Mr. Florida.
they had to cancel cruise lines because the Bermuda Triangle has gotten so big and strong. We can't cruise anymore.
That's
So
not true.
if you had to go on a cruise or plan to go on a cruise, it's not going to happen. Not until September, anyways, when they can wrangle it back in.
Just shrink it back down.
Shrink it back down to size. So I don't know why, honestly. They were going to do August,
I didn't hear about
and
this.
then they extended it to like September 15th. They're not going to set sail until then. So
Assuming it's all just COVID number related.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what
Is
else you
it
could
really
do.
jump in though, or is it just testing?
Well,
I know we've had this conversation, but
Trump
everything's
said he tried to slow
spiking.
spike or tried to slow testing, so I don't know.
And I was trying to go to Florida, really want to go to Florida, and everyone's fucking just making a big stink about it.
Florida's the second biggest spike right now behind Arizona. Yeah. I don't know.
Shit's blowing up.
I kind of think you're right. Like with more testing, it just depends how much testing each of these states are getting. Like if they're getting a noticeable like 20% increase in testing, then yeah, that's what it is. It's just finding what's already there.
But like, how many people do you guys know that are getting tested? I don't know anybody.
See, even us, we were supposed to start with the nose thing 3 weeks ago. We haven't started at work yet, but any minute now they said it could come.
Wait a minute.
My dad's
You're
getting
going to have to get
tested.
the nose thing
Oh,
done?
yeah. Oh,
Even if
yeah.
you're not showing symptoms or
Yeah,
fever or anything?
we're all going to have to get it not every day, but I heard twice a week is what we're probably going to have to do.
Dude, fuck that. I heard it's terrible.
My dad's getting it done in like a week because if you get any kind of procedure done through Cleveland Clinic, you're required to get a COVID test.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he's getting cataract surgery done. So he has to get COVID tested. It's required.
Tell you this, if I get it, I'm 2 weeks off work, so I'll see you later.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's that bad. People say it's like a pinch. Your like nose, your eyes like water, and it's like just go straight back. And it's more intimidating because it's that long fucking Q-tip.
Yeah, I'm going to sneeze for sure. I'm just going to warn them.
Yeah, I can't do that stuff either.
Mm-hmm.
Q-tips up the nose, it's over with.
Yep.
I hope I don't have to get it. I might be getting a procedure.
I refuse.
But if they require it.
What kind of procedure?
What am I going to get done?
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting a breast implants.
Dick enlargement.
That too. Trying to go like Ron Jeremy style from like 10 inches to 12 inches.
Oh, Rhonda Weiss over here.
No, but my dad was saying that for his
It's so fucking stupid.
He has to get the COVID test, and then it's required.
Sorry.
It's required that after it, they said he's required to stay home for 4 days. Can't leave at all for 4 days.
Oh, just so he doesn't come
probably
in contact
because
with
your body immune system is like over fighting, so you don't get like sick or anything.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That is one thing I wonder about, like how Nick's doing down there, because he was real worried about it, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm kind of ready." But then he went down there and he was like, "Nobody here wears masks."
He's not wearing a mask.
And I know, I'm shocked.
And I think he's to the point too. Like what he talked about, was it last week or the week before? He'd said he's like, I was real up here about it, and he's like, now I'm just annoyed. I just want to live my life and all that. And I can understand that, dude. We're all sick of this shit. It's 3 months in for us. For the rest of the world, it's like 6 or 7.
Right.
And for him, it's basically 12 because he couldn't even get anything delivered to him.
Jesus. He's been living off like a fucking different planet.
Just been eating saltine crackers and milk for 3 months.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't blame him. I got to go down there in October. I don't know what it's going to be like by then. So
I just wanted to go because I have a couple friends that were just there, and they were at Universal. It's dead. Like no lines at all.
I'm surprised it's open.
They said they're doing real good social distancing there, though. Like all employees are required to wear a mask. You're required to wear a mask. They've got like cleaning stations, but no lines.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get on that.
I know that'd be the one time where you're like, oh, I'm fine going to this. There's no lines.
I wonder how they're going to do that, because we went to, like when we went to that OtherWorld today, they were doing our temperature checks at the door.
They did it for you?
And
they
just
laser beam you?
Yeah. And just from walking like from our car to the door, it was so hot out. It was like 95 degrees down there.
Right.
We got a temperature check, and they were like, you have to step to the side, like stand in the AC, and we'll give you a couple minutes and we'll try you again. And we didn't have a fever or anything, but like Orlando,
registered though?
registered as us having a low grade fever, and they were like, we're not gonna be able to let you in if that doesn't come down.
Yeah.
I wonder how strict they're going to be with that policy in a place like Orlando where it's 100 degrees and humid.
For our work, they said 99.1, and they're gonna retest. And if it happens again, like you have to go home. And 99.5 is the normal temperature. Like if you get 99.5, you're fine.
Yeah.
But like they're not even risking it. Like if it's 99.1, that's enough to get sent home.
Isn't it 98.6 is supposed to be like the average body temperature?
I think it's between 98.6 and 99.5 is like they consider normal.
I think that is right because I run low.
So how are they going to make you go home if your temperature is normal?
Because they're just being precaution. If you're anywhere near that list,
they're going to pay you?
Dude, our I think ours is paid vacation for up to 2 weeks.
I'm going to say, yeah, because if they're making you go home and you're within the normal range, like that's a little bit.
You better put a heating pad on your forehead.
Right, bro.
If it's paid 2 weeks, I'm going to be like,
yeah, I'm out.
Well, dude, for the first like week or two that we were doing it, I would always go to work no matter how cold it was. I'd go to work with the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not going to fucking get me, dude.
I'm sending me home.
I'm going as cold as I can. So,
jeez.
That's wild.
Yeah. I haven't had to do it yet. Like I haven't had to, I haven't gone anywhere where they've done any kind of taking your temperature.
You haven't been anywhere that has that?
No, nowhere I've gone's made me do that.
I've been checked at had to go to the doctor. They checked me there every single time. And then this place was the first public place I've been to, but
I don't go to the doctor. So I ain't had to worry about it, and nowhere else is doing it. Like, I mean, really like nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I went out to eat several times this weekend. No masks where we went.
Yeah. Restaurants aren't.
Nowhere we went required masks.
Cedar Point, I bet you do though.
Well, yeah, they already said we're not going this year. They already said that you have to wear a mask, so I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not doing that either.
So here's the thing: we got into debate about this last night or the night before, me and my brothers and stuff, talking about Cedar Point, because it's not Cedar Point, it's Disney.
Okay.
Cedar Point, I think, is doing the same thing though, but I know for sure Disney, so I'll go off of that. But Disney is requiring masks, except for on the water rides.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, okay, if it's as serious as it is that they want you to wear a mask and you're required, it should be no exceptions. Because once you say you're required to wear it, but on the water rides you don't have to.
Is that just so you don't get your mask wet?
Yeah. So close the water rides then. Or if you choose to wear it and it gets wet, but it shouldn't. When you do that, it takes away the urgency of it. Because I can ride this ride without it, but every other ride I have to wear it.
Yeah.
Someone on that ride could have COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
It needs to be an all or nothing.
I do think
or
they
an
should
optional
close that ride.
That's been the biggest problem with all these policies, though, to begin with, is there's so many things that contradict what they say back and forth. And that's been my only problem with the whole Acton and our governor, DeWine. That's been my only problem with them. I thought they've done a good job for the most part so far, but there's been so many statements they've made that contradicts what they've said previously.
Yeah.
So,
well, like some of the mask stuff that they did at first, like not required.
Mm-hmm.
Fauci came straight out and said that he had directed people to tell you not to wear masks, even though we should have been, but he intentionally told us not to because he knew of the shortage and he didn't want to put medical staff at risk. So he directly just came out last week and said we should have all been wearing masks the entire time, but we knew we were at such a shortage that if we told everyone that, there's no way we could overcome what the medical staff needed.
Which is
bullshit, though.
And that's kind of dangerous. Yeah. Like, so I understand medical should be covered first and all that, but like, that's kind of saying like, well,
sketchy.
Medical's cool, but everybody else, fuck you guys.
Right.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, basically.
We've got everybody making masks and stuff. Like I've got a mask that's somebody made. I bought it at the post office and everything.
They've come out and said that those don't do anything though. They've straight up come and
even
said,
with the filters and everything.
They said it's more of like a mental.
Oh well, fuck me then. I'm not going to wear it.
Is that for everything or just like is it N95 masks too? Or
no, N95s I believe I read were okay, but like the made at home cotton ones.
Yeah,
like I've read several like actual truthful sites that were like they don't do anything. More so makes you feel good about yourself.
Well, I'm not going to wear that anymore then because it doesn't make me feel good.
Look
it's
it
just
up
hot.
Look it up for yourself. But that's like the ones that I'm required to wear.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything.
Well, then screw it.
I'm required to wear it.
I already feel great about myself. My body looks great in the mirror.
Right?
It does nothing for me.
I know.
I'm not doing it.
And I think it's bullshit that they've come out medically at this point and said you should not wear one unless you show symptoms.
Yeah.
Well, then I shouldn't be forced to wear one if I'm not showing symptoms. They shouldn't be allowed to force me and require me to wear it.
And that was the statement they went back on their word with. They said asymptomatic people now it's very difficult for them to spread.
Asymptomatic is very difficult. They said that the whole like length of time on services is basically nothing.
Yep.
And that was the whole thing that was like the terror of it at the beginning was we don't know what it's on. We don't know who could give it to you. You might have it right now, be transferring it to us in this room. And like, all that was bullshit.
I just think I don't know. I think it's bullshit that that can be forced to do it when like the department that handles all that saying you shouldn't wear one unless you show symptoms. You should not wear it. Yep. So stupid. But yeah, so I just think that's so contradicting, like the Disney World thing. Make it an all or nothing. Yeah. It just makes me question, why do I even need to wear it if I cannot wear it on this ride just because it's going to get wet? Well, that's my choice then. If I ride the ride and it gets wet, then that's on me. Or bring a second mask.
And I'd do what you said. Like, there's only, 2 or 3 probably water rides there. Just shut down the water rides.
Yeah, if they want to shut them down, or, again, just leave them open and you're required to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the purpose of, like, why on those ones you don't have to wear it. It's silly.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of like...
Just don't make me wear it at all.
Yeah. That's like the movie thing that you were talking about.
Oh.
Which we'll get to here.
We'll get to that now. He's trying to step his boundaries.
He's got to go home.
My God! Okay, it's happening.
In another dimension.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody, calm down.
Two Steve assemble!
Don't think we'll be hearing that sound anytime soon. Christopher, fill us in on some movie theater magic.
Okay, so to touch on Jesse's excellent transition there.
Thank you.
First of all, we're going to get into this case involving AMC Theaters and now Regal. AMC, a couple of weeks ago when they announced their opening dates, they said that the masks would not be required to come into their theaters. You can wear them. It's optional if you feel up to it, but they're not going to enforce it. This, of course, sent out a big backlash over the previous week. And a lot of people were sending AMC a lot of shit, telling them that it should be enforced and all this. And because of the big backlash, now AMC will require guests to wear face masks at locations nationwide. This is also the case with Regal. They decided to avoid the massive backlash, and they are now enforcing it as well. No word on Cinemark yet, though.
Don't.
Good, because I go to Cinemark.
Go to the movies.
Thank you.
If you're concerned about COVID, don't make us all be punished because you are concerned.
When I sent
Stay
that out,
home and watch it yourself.
Mm-hmm. When I sent this to you guys on Wednesday, I think it was, I said, nobody's forcing you to go to the movies.
Right.
Sit your ass at home if you feel scared by this and don't do anything about it. The rest of us will be out having fun.
Yeah.
So silly.
Well, how do you enforce that? Because I know, like, when you go to the movies, they do their 2 walkthroughs. Every single time the guy with the light comes out and he's checking for the sound, he's checking for you to be filming in the theater, blah, 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 blah. Is he going to really go up to every person that doesn't have a mask and be like, sir, you need to put your mask on or you're going to have to leave?
If he sees someone without it, they're going to be required to do that.
I guess, yeah.
Have fun trying to enforce that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's damn near impossible to even monitor phones in those theaters.
Right.
Like, I've been there.
Well,
you're not going to monitor those masks.
What you're going to run into is someone snitching. It's going to be the person sitting next to you that is generally concerned and you're not wearing it, and they're going to go and fucking tell someone that, hey, person next to me is not wearing their mask, and now the fucking little teenage kid's going to have to come in there and tell the grown-up, put your fucking mask on.
Well, and then the point that you brought up earlier is, like, are they still selling concessions? How am I supposed to wear my mask while I'm eating my popcorn or my hot dog or my nachos?
Right.
I just don't think it's enforceable. As a
agree.
person that managed a theater for years, you're not going to be able to do this.
So is it still required? What's actually still required right now as far as per government and not just local businesses being able to enforce their own, as far as masks being required or distancing? Is distancing still a requirement? Because look, we went to Put in Bay.
6 feet is still a requirement, I believe, but I don't think that anything else.
We went to Put in Bay this weekend. It was fucking packed. Packed of people. Not a single mask in thousands of people.
Yeah.
I think
there was no social distancing. There was no masks. There was nothing, man. It was wild.
It seems to me they're kind of light on people going outside too. So like if we're in an enclosed space kind of like this one, they'd be more pissed off if there were 20 people down here instead of 20 people at Put in Bay.
So thanks for coming, Mr. Put in Bay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So like I
was rolling all around in the bars and
I don't care. I'm sure my body has developed antibodies by now. So, but yeah, I think it's more if they're outside, they're not focused on it as primarily. Now I know cases like the amusement parks contradict that directly, but there you go. There again is that contradiction.
Well, that's weird though. To that point though, they don't care about. They more so care if you're inside, because Florida just passed rule that you're required to wear a mask if you are outside. No matter what, you are required at all times to wear a mask.
How are you like? Okay, so what happens to those people though? If you walk outside and you go, oh, officer, I forgot my mask at home. I legitimately forgot. What is it a fine?
It's probably going to be punishable. Just like here when we had the curfew and we technically could have gotten pulled over, it was a punishable offense. Maybe it's a misdemeanor.
But nobody was getting in trouble for that. The people who were getting in trouble were the businesses that were really overstepping their bounds and staying open despite.
I've got several friends in Florida though, man, and they said it's
legit. Like they're locking it down.
I know Arizona's locking it down soon too. They were talking about they were days away from making it mandatory.
Yeah, Florida is in bad shape, and a bunch of their ERs and stuff are now back to where we were, where they're at capacity.
With the movies and stuff, do you know if they have to wipe down the seats?
Yeah, between each showing.
That's another thing.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever.
You have no idea how long it takes, because we used to just do the headrests. Because people got greasy heads, it's disgusting, and we would do that for like big showings or something if we were going to go and get like evaluated or whatever the word was, I don't remember.
Right.
But typically between the end of the movie and the next one is a 30-minute window at the most for a big packed movie, which is basically going to be every movie. Once this comes back, we would cut that down to 15. You got 15 minutes to clean, and as soon as you walk out, people are waiting and they go in.
But I feel like I should let you know something, and we'll get into this a little later. With those movies that are coming out, I've noticed that with each schedule, and it could change as we get closer, it seems like each movie at the most has 2 showings a day. So it looks like it's not going to be an around-the-clock thing.
There's definitely are they going to be doing 2 shows per theater, though? Or are they, because a lot of times they'll rotate 2 movies in a theater where they would go, like
one would play at this time.
Tenet at noon, and then Wonder Woman in that same theater at 3, and then Tenet again at 6, and then Wonder Woman at 9.
All I'm seeing, and I'm basing this on the classic movies, so there's one movie that I'm going to mention here that had 2 screenings. One was at a 6:40, and one was at I think a 2:30.
Okay.
And that's it that day. Like there's no other screens, there's no other nothing. You're getting 2 screenings of that movie that day. If you miss them, that's on you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're going to do that for Wonder Woman or Tenet, though, when those types of films
these are the
come.
classics.
I think, I think it's just classic. Like, I obviously the times for those other ones haven't come out yet.
So, what, what, where, why, when, how? Who enforces them cleaning? Who's responsible if they don't clean properly? If someone went to the movies and they didn't clean and someone says they got COVID from the movie theater, are they responsible? Like,
you absolutely could be.
But like, how do you say that how do you pinpoint that you got it because you went to the movies? Like,
you probably
what's keeping these teenage kids who are going to be super annoyed that they got to scrub down all these seats to actually do it?
The biggest thing for me is there's so much time management in the theater. The theater is not a hard job.
No.
But the problem is in order to
keep it working. That's a very tedious thing, though.
Right. But in order to keep all of these things going, when you do finally open, I'm not talking about our classic films or anything like I'm talking about our big blockbusters.
Yeah.
Movies are opened again, but we're keeping these things in place. At the very most, you are going to squeeze 4 movies typically into one theater throughout the entire day.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 if you open early.
And if it's short enough.
And it's a pain in the ass. I used to have to make the schedules for that, and it's like working a fucking Rubik's Cube to get it in order. So you get all of that stuff going. If you have to do every single theater, even if you're a mid-sized theater, you're looking between anywhere from 180 to 375 seats. That's what we had in our theater, and we were a mid-level theater. You go up to like
one theater?
One theater is anywhere from our smallest theaters were 180 seats. Our largest theaters were up to 375.
But remember, not every seat's getting used.
That's true. That's true.
Do they have to clean them all, though, still?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Are they going to have them, like, blocked off?
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't use those seats.
You'd have to tape them.
Because, like, LaBelle, like, just for example, like, LaBelle's, they're required between cuttings to clean all of their stuff, even if they didn't use it.
I think the rumor was that there would be 2 seats between each one. So one person every 3 seats.
Yeah.
So even with that, you're looking at 60 to 100 seats. It's a lot of seats that somebody's got to go in, and they're wiping down the entire thing. It's not just the headrests, because you got to get the armrests and everything else, anything that's been touched. You got to get the doors. So all of that's happening along with the cleaning.
Yeah, do those in
and you have to do that.
Each?
You have to do that before that. Those movies are scheduled. It's not film anymore where if it's running a little late, I can wait a second and go late. That is all digitally programmed. At 8 o'clock, when that movie starts, that movie starts.
It's got to be like 4 people going in there, like 4 kids going into to clean.
You got to think 60 seats. If it's a minute a piece,
yeah,
you're going to need 4 people to do 15. That gets you 15 minutes.
So now the issue is me as a theater running Regal, I've got typically 2 cleaners for an entire packed night. You would only have 4 for like those major Harry Potter just came out type of things. 2 people typically takes that whole thing down.
Yeah.
If I got to put 4 people in there now to get that done, I'm not staying open.
Well, and here's the thing. We're talking 4 people just to clean the seats.
Right.
We're not talking picking up concessions.
You got to clean concessions.
The popcorn.
You've got to disinfect everything.
Yeah.
It's a pain. Box office, every single counter needs to be wiped down every single time.
That's why
you got to get the doors probably once every 15 minutes. Like, you cannot maintain this level of cleanliness. And that's just at the theater.
That's why
places
places
aren't
open.
Any business.
I think so many places aren't open and they can't maintain what they are required to do.
I think that's why you're going to have so many movies though that have that 4-hour bridge between them, like the classics I'm speaking of. Right. I don't know what they're going to do with Tenet. You raise good questions.
How do you make money though? To that point, like if you can do
people.
So you said this is 2 showings a day. Okay, say it's 10 theaters, so you got 20 showings that day in comparison to what normally you might have. 50 showings a day
about.
And you got to staff probably twice as many people for half the income.
Yeah, and the tickets are half that for the classics. They're $5. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's tight. It's tough, man. Anything new with AMC not like going into business?
No. Right now they're that's still up in limbo. They're planning on opening in July with the rest of these theaters right now, but it doesn't look good still for AMC past this year for sure. To change up the subject a little bit, to get back to Cinemark, they released a list of classic movies this week that are going to be playing when they open on July 10th. Some of these titles are really impressive. I'm surprised they went above and beyond with these movies, but you got to draw people back in.
Absolutely.
Movies like The Matrix. Did you guys see that one on the big screen when it came out?
I did not see it on the big screen. I saw some of the sequels, but not the original.
Okay. Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, buddy.
Blade Runner, the original.
Oh. That I did not see on the big screen.
I did see that on the big screen.
The original one?
In a reshoot or a re-showing of something.
I was going to say, it wasn't even
No, yeah, not
yet.
I saw it, was it last year or the year before on the big screen? It was at the Capitol up in Cleveland. They were playing it for one day, and I'm like, dude, I'm going.
I think they did a showing of it when the new one came out.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that like some of the theaters did showings, but I've never seen it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
They do those that like play before the new one.
Right.
Back to the Future, the original.
Absolutely seeing that again.
Wonder Woman. Jaws.
Yep.
Space Jam.
Dope.
That'd be dope to see on a big screen.
That would be. I saw that on video when it came out, so I never.
I think I saw that in theater, but I definitely would see it again.
Yeah. Austin Powers, the first one.
Yeah.
Get Out.
I'd see that again.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Lego
There's
movie.
about 4 or 5 there that I would absolutely love to see on the big screen.
Yeah, I have 4 for sure that I'm definitely going to see.
I'm more excited. Honestly, I'm more excited for a drive, and I'm so bummed I didn't get to go last night.
It was fun.
I wanted to see them classic movies. I wanted to go last night in my bathing suit with a freaking inner tube and watch Jaws out on the park.
Yeah, I so want to do one of those one time.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, with Jaws.
That movie just freaks me out so bad. Like, I couldn't be in the water and watch it. I
just have
can't.
somebody.
It doesn't matter where the fuck I'm at.
Grab your foot or something.
When I went to Universal Studios in February before we went for Podfest, the resort I was at, it was the first time ever where I was stayed somewhere where they actually had that. They did the movie in there, but it wasn't fucking Jaws. I wish it was. They played Men in Black.
Oh, that's why.
I know. Men in Black in the water.
I know.
A movie that has no water.
But I'm like, man, when I saw that they offered it, I'm like, God, please play Jaws.
I saw the Jaws stuff at Universal just a couple of years before they got rid of it all because it's not there anymore.
The ride was so
and
dope,
like I've got pictures. Me and Nick were together. We got pictures with the giant shark statue hanging down.
It's
and
still
then
there.
The actual. Oh, is it?
Yeah, they still kept
the ride is gone,
memorabilia
though,
stuff,
right?
but the ride is gone.
Yeah, the ride was terrifying. Though.
It was so dope, man. The shark
It's
comes
just
up,
like the
next to
movie.
ship
You
and-
don't see anything. You're just getting rocked at first. You're like, what the fuck?
My
One of
favorite
the best rides there.
Did you guys ever do the King Kong ride?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, that-
original King Kong ride.
You go in that warehouse and you see that like right around the corner you turn and an ape, huge fucking
Are you
animatronic
talking about
ape.
the one when it was the one where you were like on it was supposed to be like you were on like the subway or the elevated train?
Yeah,
And you went,
yeah, because
God, it was so good.
it was a tour bus that like doubled as a train basically. And you turn this corner and you just see his huge face, and I'm like, dude, That's an animatronic, but that thing is creepy.
So
get me the fuck away from that thing.
It's amazing. It looks it's huge too.
Yeah, it's massive.
Like as big as this room.
Yeah.
It's dope. Yeah, it's real dope.
So those are the movies that are going to be coming out, and they'll join like Tenet, Mulan, and there's a Russell Crowe movie that I can't think of the title right now.
Cracker?
Speaking of which, there is a TV movie that is coming out this year called Kraka, Cracka. And I have got to read the plot synopsis for this, and I want to get your guys' take on it. A present-day white supremacist gets thrust back in time where the African Americans rule and the whites are enslaved.
Oh. So it's not just back in time. It's like a whole weird, like
a different dimension. You know.
Who is this?
It's a reverse Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who is this movie in it or,
there's nobody big in it. And even the director, Dale Resteghini, I've never heard of.
You said it's a TV movie?
Yeah, it's a TV movie. It's coming out. God, I don't know where they'd even show
what
this.
A time to release that movie.
Yeah.
He's just he made that thing in a week and said,
right.
People will love it.
Very socially relevant, especially with what's going on right now. Will you guys see Kraka?
I'm curious to see. I don't know. I mean, I might turn it on to see what kind of quality it is.
Yeah.
To see if it's like a real movie or like to Jesse's point, someone that just fucking whipped something together to capitalize on everything going on right now.
There's some trash movies out there.
Yeah, bro.
But
I might turn it on. Well, I'll wait for your review from the Film Freak.
Right, absolutely.
If I can get my hands on it, I'll review it.
If it's a 5 or less, I'm going to pass on that one.
Speaking of which, I want to watch that one you just posted.
7,500?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I want to watch that.
I mean, like, it's, I shouldn't say it looks good. It is
I didn't
good.
see that one.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a pilot who is up in the air, and he's doing a flight from England to Germany. And out of nowhere, terrorists take over the plane. And what's amazing about this movie is it's all shot in the cockpit. Nothing you see takes place behind him. Like you're seeing this on monitors. You're seeing him communicating, radio to these guys back there. It's what's cool is it's all from his perspective.
What's that on?
Amazon Prime.
Well, I'll check that out.
I
like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, and no music throughout the entire movie.
I didn't see that review.
I gave it a 7.
Everything. Yeah, I gave it a 7.
Spoilers.
No, just that you gave it a 7. That's not a spoiler.
That just means I like it. Everybody else might hate it.
Dude, that's wild though.
Mhm.
Because I didn't get a chance to read your review yet. I saw it like right before you got here.
It's got no music.
And that's a weird thing with the camera angles too.
Yeah, and what I love is like everything is claustrophobic, giving that feeling of a real cockpit.
Like the uncut gems.
Yeah, pretty much.
Real like.
Yeah, so the anxiety is always up. You hear the sounds around him that kind of serves as the movie's musical score, and yeah, it's just the second half kind of crumbles under its weight a little bit, but it doesn't ruin it enough to where it's a bad movie. It's still entertaining enough to sit and watch. Definitely worth a Amazon Prime sit for sure.
There's a show on Netflix called Into the Night.
Yeah,
that I like started watching not long ago, and it's similar premise to like what you're talking about. They're like they're flying in air, they're in flight. And like while in flight, like the world below them is like falling apart to like terrorism and everything. And then they're trying to like, they get back up in the air and they're trying to figure out like a plan on what to do to like survive or whatever. It's wild. And it's all, it's in Spanish, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I heard of that and I didn't watch it yet. It sounds good.
It was pretty interesting. I got through like the first 3 episodes or so.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good.
How many episodes are there? Do you know?
I don't know. It was one like random night where I was just scrolling and I was like, I need something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get sucked into those type of like Air Force Ones and like Executive Decision, like airplane
hijackers.
Yeah, that type of movie. I don't know why. What's the one with the lady who loses her kid up there? You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
And
what is that?
And they think she's crazy.
Oh, Flight Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jodie
all
Foster.
Those like those like weird airplane movies. I don't know why,
Damn,
but I
that's
get
old.
sucked
That's
into
old, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2005 or 6.
Jeez,
Peter
I forgot
Sarsgaard's
about
the
that
villain.
movie entirely.
Yeah, man. What's the one with Wesley Snipes?
A Passenger 57.
I love those movies.
Gary Busey.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Those weird, like I fly a lot, but those freaking weird hijack and plane movies I love.
You like horror movies, right? Like you had the Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to Chris last night. I saw this advertisement for, that Shudder app. Have you seen that? So they've got a show on there called Cursed Movies or Cursed Films or something like that. And it's like The Omen, The Exorcist, like all these movies that just had like terrible shit happen during it. And it dives into like what all happened and like the truth and whatever behind it. I might get the app just for that show.
That's
alone.
pretty dope.
It does sound
I
good.
do want to watch that.
Yeah,
I know.
The app was like $4 a month or something. I was like,
I can check that show out and cancel.
I've read The Omen and The Exorcist, like the backstories on some of the production notes on that movie, and like, yeah, it's crazy. Like Wizard of Oz had a lot too, man.
Poltergeist is another one. Like tons of people got cancer and died and like had accidents.
My uncle was friends with the priest from The Exorcist.
Oh, no kidding.
Huh.
The lead one,
the one that gets
the old
thrown
guy
out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like family friend from like his church, because he's got a
Father Harris,
really good friend that's like a pastor or something, and through them, real crazy, man.
Yeah, that movie, like the thing with The Exorcist is I watched it again last year at the drive-in. Like the first hour of that movie is so slow, but once you get past that, it starts going, and then you realize why it's got the legendary status that it does.
That movie is messed up.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, it's wild.
One more story in Hollywood Report this week, guys. The announcement has been made for the latest games to be inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You guys didn't even know one existed.
I did not know this existed.
Sadly, I did not know that.
So first of all, I'm going to name the nominees that have just been added. Let me know if you guys have played any of these. Bejeweled?
No.
Centipede?
No.
Okay.
King's Quest?
No.
Minecraft?
Yes.
Okay. Those are the
I
ones.
played the first two.
Those are the ones that got chosen.
Those are the ones that are in for sure. Yeah.
Oh.
So now
You never played Centipede?
I don't think so. What is that?
It's like an old school arcade game when Centipede comes through and you got to like shoot it up and break it apart and like.
Oh, like an Atari game.
Yeah, and Bejeweled is basically like Candy Crush.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
know
original
the
Candy
name
Crush.
of it, but I just don't think I've ever played it.
I played Centipede and I played Minecraft. I couldn't get into Minecraft.
Remember Snake on like
Yeah.
your phone?
That was a beast. of
Nokia
Snake.
phone? I used
Yeah.
to love Snake.
God, Nokia phones.
Those are old games to be getting in right now. I thought you were going to be like
I know,
Halo.
me too.
Well,
So what are some of the nominees that did not make it?
this is the long list. Okay. These are the ones that were nominated. They are eligible for nominations for the next 3 years. After that, they will not make it. Like you have a short list.
Oh,
when
okay.
you're-
So
when-
once you're nominated, you get a couple years and then you're
Yeah.
not getting in.
It's even stricter than baseball. You only have 4 years in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So the long list, which also includes Frogger.
Played it.
This one breaks my heart. GoldenEye 007.
That
Should
should
have
be
made it.
Guitar Hero.
Good. Played it.
NBA Jam.
Played it.
I
That
could
should
live
be
with-
in.
No, I could live with that.
NBA Jam's good, man.
NBA Jam is
He's
good, but
on
it's
fire.
Yeah.
I love that, man. They do the backflips and shit.
Well, that was the one that like really crossed it over for Super Nintendo. That was the one that
Dope.
competed with Sega. So the next name, speaking of which, Nokia Snake,
Oh, jeez.
that should be in.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
dope.
Nope. Melee shouldn't be in.
It's
Melee's the
dope.
worst of them all.
I'm not saying it should be in, but it's a good game. I don't think it should be in either, though. That one.
The first one could go in,
Yeah.
but not
the
not
original.
Melee.
Is that Wii?
Melee was on GameCube.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
That is my all-time favorite game
Is it really?
ever made. I
Wow.
love that
Never
game.
played it.
And it missed it, man.
It's incredible. You guys definitely got to play it.
And where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh fuck! I forgot about that game.
I remember that.
I played that shit when I was like
GoldenEye,
4.
though?
GoldenEye.
Well, I should have a given.
What was the one after GoldenEye on that list?
GoldenEye.
Sorry.
No, hold on. Let me go back. It was GoldenEye and Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I think Guitar Hero was such a huge thing. I don't know what they're like looking for their Hall of Fame, but like GoldenEye, no first-person shooter exists without that. Like that was a revolution. That should have been in first ballot, no question. You don't have
believe GoldenEye
Halo,
did not
Call of
make
Duty, any of that
GoldenEye's my
stuff
pick.
without
Oh,
it.
were some of those choices that made it, and they didn't put GoldenEye in?
That's, in my opinion, the best Nintendo 64 game there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Centipede's not even that
Disrespect.
great. Like I'd probably play Frogger over Centipede.
Yeah. Frogger I could see just on popularity alone. Like I could
Mhm.
understand that. So my
Wow.
my four would probably be, I'd go GoldenEye. I'll go Minecraft because it's got a huge following.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero I would put in,
Yeah.
and I'd put Frogger in as fourth. Yeah.
Do you have the list of actual?
So I was gonna pass it around.
Guitar Hero was just it just brought that arcade game thing home.
Mhm.
Like that game was so fun. I still play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good.
And it's like they tried to slowly recreate it, like every incarnation they had of it. And I think it's got enough of a following to get the fourth spot at least.
Absolutely, man.
How long have they been inducting people into this Hall of Fame?
Ooh.
Established in 2010.
Okay.
So it's newer. I mean, not newer, but it's newer.
I'd like
I'm
to
gonna
know.
pull up.
I want to know the first class.
I want to know who's in it already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull that up. I mean, I don't. Let's see here. Inducted games.
There's no game on there that I hated. Of course, I didn't play a majority of them.
I would say there's a lot that I haven't played, but there's some on there that should be in. 007's a no question.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was founded in 2010, but they didn't induct anything until 2015. So these are the 2015 first induction, first class. Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Doom was good.
Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pong.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Tetris.
Yeah.
And World of Warcraft.
No issues with
That's
any of those.
I don't have an issue with any of those either.
That's a strong class.
So then 2016 was GTA 3.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one until 5.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Space Invaders.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
God, yeah.
Oregon Trail.
Okay.
And The Sims.
No issues with that either.
I don't have an issue with that either.
I mean, yeah, the only thing, I guess I see Oregon Trail just because like it's
so
popular.
classic.
Yeah, it is. So it's not a great game, but I can understand it.
So
it had its moment in time, like
relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2017. I don't think you guys are going to have a problem with this either. Donkey Kong.
Absolutely.
Halo.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red and Green.
I don't know about it.
Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. The best one.
I don't know if put 2 Pokemons in.
They both came out simultaneously. It's the same game. I think that's why they did it.
Yeah. But did it take an extra spot?
Nope. They're together as one.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
that's
it. I was
fine
say
then.
don't take an extra spot up. Okay, yeah, that's good then.
So then last year's was Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never played any of them.
It's not the best one, but yeah.
John Madden Football.
Yeah.
Space War, which I don't know what that one is.
I don't either.
Okay. And then the last one was Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider I like.
Oh, sorry. That was 2018. There's one more.
Tomb Raider I like. That's a hard list. There's a lot of good games out.
It's a little early maybe for Tomb Raider. Just that's the third year?
What year did
That was the fourth.
Fourth year?
I think there's some other ones that are definitely.
Yeah, that's a tough. That one I'm not as happy about as a lot of the ones.
This next year definitely has ones that are better than Tomb Raider. Colossal Cave. Not sure of that one. Adventure. I'm pretty sure Adventure is that very first game that had an Easter egg that they talked about.
Ready Player One.
In Ready Player One, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Solitaire.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, which I think is
absolutely
that should have
been
probably
in
a little
earlier.
quicker. Yeah.
Yep. And Super Mario Kart, which I also think
I like that.
in way before.
I like that one.
And then this year's were the ones that we just talked about.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games out there that they're missing, man.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Legend was it Zelda Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time are both
Ocarina of Time is
phenomenal.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Mario 64 should be in there.
Mario 64 is really good.
Man, there's some good games out there. That's tough.
Yeah.
You guys ever play Quirk?
Yeah.
I used to love Quirk.
It was
man.
Is that the one that
played it on
hops
Game
on the little
Boy.
boxes and shit? What is that?
I think you're thinking Qbert.
Yeah, that is
you're
what I'm thinking of.
Qbert.
I don't know what Quirk is.
Quirk was the one with the blocks where you had to like move the stuff out of the way to get through like the maze.
Yes. What was that computer game?
I played it on Game Boy.
Was it? Okay. I don't know if I ever played it on Game Boy.
Quirk was good on that was good. Did you ever play the Looney Tunes game?
Yes.
I think it was NES.
Which one?
Oh fuck!
I had mine on Super Nintendo.
There's Bugs Crazy Castle. There's
that one I've played.
Yeah.
Those
there's-
games were so fun.
Yeah, they were. The puzzles were fucking they'd anger you though after a while.
Yeah, man, there's some good games out there.
I think Gran Turismo should have been in there already.
Gran Turismo's a good one.
Oh, what about what's that movie? Twisted Metal or whatever?
Twisted Metal
Metal's
should be in
classic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's
Metal
a
Gear
lot.
Solid,
Yeah. Metal Gear
Spyro,
Solid's dope.
Crash Bandicoot.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
dude.
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah,
Man, there's some good ass games out there.
There's a lot of good games.
I personally think Sonic 2 is better than Sonic. That's just my opinion.
Sonic 2. Sonic was just good all around.
I never did a lot of Sonic.
True Lies was a good game for Sega.
I never played True Lies.
It's based off the movie.
I love the movie. Yeah.
It was fun on Sega Genesis. It was like an above angle
Mm-hmm.
shooter game, but it was like above the map, so you could like see all the wall outlines and stuff.
Oh,
It was
sweet.
so dope.
Did you guys have Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Did you guys play Clay Fighters?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Clay
Dude,
Fighters
Clay Fighters
was
was
my
dope.
shit.
Fighters. I can't.
I forgot about
There were
that
like all these
game.
different like one of them was named like Tiny and he was a giant
Bro.
bodybuilder that you could fight with, and then there was like a snowman.
The
One guy
Snowman
was
2 I
made
used
out
to
of
be-
taffy. He could like stretch really far. Like what's his name from Street Fighter?
Dude.
One was like an opera singer. There was a guy that
They
was
had
like
it on
literally made out
64.
of clay. It was so fun.
Was it
I
like
used
a
to
beat
play-
'em up like Street Fighter
It
or
was
Mortal
just a straight
Kombat?
up fighter game.
You
Yeah,
remember the green,
but it was cartoony and fun.
the green blob thing? It was like a melted Gumby.
Yeah, he was what the fuck was his name? That was such a good
Dude,
game. I need to get my hands
I'm
on
recalling
that.
this a little bit, but I don't remember it being called that.
Yeah,
'Cause
man.
I used to run around. I played as Tiny all the time.
Yeah.
Because his like move after you won was he would be like, yeah, and he would like stretch. So I would run around as a kid and be like, yeah, all the time.
Totally forgot that a game even existed, man.
I'll tell you what's
Clay
one.
Fighter was so dope.
Turtles in Time should be on there.
Turtles in Time is really
It's
good.
the best Turtles game there is.
Man. There's some good ass video games, man.
Yeah. Take a look at those screenshots. Tell me if you recognize it.
See this.
That first class is good though. The one he listed.
This first three were
I
really
do remember that.
It's such a good game.
The
Get all the
Snowmancer
different
I
like
used to play.
Taffy World and like all the different levels and stuff.
Jesus, man, look at those. Oh my God, they got a Jack Pumpkinhead.
Yes. Yeah, he could throw his head at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Clay Fighters.
And they got it on 64. Clay Fighter 63 and a third. I don't know if that's real, but
Bro. Yeah, they had the N64.
okay.
Yep, that was real.
Did you guys ever play Toe Jam and Earl for the Sega?
I never played that. No.
I never had a Sega.
That's interesting.
I had very few games for Sega. I played a lot of Sonic. I had True Lies. Top Gun. I remember Top Gun was a real fun
For
game.
NES?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, how did you play Top Gun?
I have it. Oh, it's so good.
Landing that fucking plane,
I
dude. You
love
got a
it,
better
man.
chance of pissing a cactus out of your dick.
I'm good at it, man.
Oh my
I love Top
God.
Gun. Dude. There's so many classic games. Good old Top Gun.
Bomberman was good.
Yeah, I played Bomberman.
There's so much good
Clay
stuff.
Fighters. I can't.
What's the best Mario game to you? 64?
God.
The best like out of anything.
I like Super Mario 2.
2? Yeah. I like 2 too, and it doesn't get the best.
I love
Rep.
2, man.
Are you including like the sports games and kart and all that stuff? Or
Let's just say
like
adventure
World?
games.
Yeah, just like Super Mario World type games.
I really liked 3, but
Yeah,
64 is hard to beat. That was just mind blowing to me as a kid that you could just move in the screen and stuff.
120 stars.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
I'd probably go start 64, but I haven't played a lot of the new ones, but I heard that Odyssey.
I don't love it.
And Odyssey is like one of the highest ranked games
I just
ever.
don't really like it. I don't like the new format of it.
I haven't played.
I don't
any
like
of them,
that
so I
free
don't
roam
know.
world thing. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the Wii ones.
Mhm.
I think they were just called Super Mario Land or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first 3 are my favorites. by
Super
far.
Smash Brothers is my favorite game with Mario involved, though.
Okay.
Like hands down, no doubt. Brawl is my favorite one. The first one that was on the Wii was unstoppable on that game.
Mm.
Yeah, Smash is good.
Have you guys ever seen professional Smash players?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
My one buddy's
It's
real good,
ridiculous.
man.
Like they literally will like hit you off the map, fight you in the air, know which moves they can jump out of, and they will literally fight in the air around they won't land, and then they'll just knock you down. I played online like a
It's
couple
wild,
times.
bro.
Like most of them are normal, but every once in a while you see one of those guys, and it's
Obsessions.
just like
Yeah.
they're just freaks.
Can't do it. I'm just not that into it.
I'll tell you a game that people forget probably that should be on the list soon just because of its popularity is Golden Tee.
Oh yeah, I love Golden Tee.
Like,
Golden Tee's good.
Golden
yeah.
Tee is a huge popular game, man.
Golden Tee is the best like $5 you can spend
Oh,
because it
God,
takes
yeah.
hours. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
There's some good games out there, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy that it took that long for that to start.
Well,
2015 is the first
he said
time?
10 is
10 was like when it was established, but 15 was like
Is
the
it
first
like
time
a real thing, or is it like someone started their own?
They have an official website. I don't know.
Anybody can have a website.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
But like like the Rock Hall is like actually supported by like who? I guess like who would be in charge of like the video game thing though? Like
Konami.
Committee
what
probably
organization
votes
or
on it.
whatever. Yeah, like I'm curious if it's.
Let's find out.
And you have to think it's all subjective anyway. So some dickweed said GoldenEye shouldn't have made,
Right.
I do like that it's for a year though. Like that's pretty freaking solid.
Yeah, you want a tight list.
It's an International Hall of Fame. Opened June 4th, 2014. It's located in the National Museum of Play's E-Game Revolution exhibit. The Hall's administration is overseen by the Strong and the International Center for the Historic of Electronic Games.
Where's that at?
Rochester, New York.
Okay, so it's official.
It's not too bad from here.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I just wasn't sure it was like an actual thing.
Video games become eligible for the World Video Game Hall of Fame by meeting 4 basic criteria: the icon status, that it is widely recognized and remembered; the longevity, that it is more than a passing fad and has been enjoyed popularity over time; The geographical reach meets and above criteria across international boundaries, and the influence that exerted significant influence on the design and development of other games or other forms of entertainment on a popular culture and society in general.
And GoldenEye is not.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
exactly what I was
GoldenEye should have been
saying.
the very first
Give
fucking
me a
one.
break.
Everything you're saying is, resonating
It
pretty
blows
strong.
all of those out of the water.
GoldenEye should have been on.
It, like
No
you said,
question.
brought first-person shooters to life.
Yeah, it should
That
definitely
is
be
a
on before anything else. Like it should have been on
worldwide
before Halo, because
Yeah.
Halo doesn't exist without GoldenEye.
Yeah.
What the hell did Halo influence? Nothing.
I think the only thing influenced
Call
by
of Duty?
GoldenEye is Doom. Like Doom was around first.
Right, and Doom got in before.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Doom was out before GoldenEye?
Doom was out way before GoldenEye.
Okay.
Yeah, because Doom was a computer platform
That's
before
right.
it hit Super Nintendo.
Doom wasn't like 3D though. Like it was like that blocky. You can move through it, but it wasn't.
It looked bad.
Yeah,
By today's standards, it looks unplayable.
that is true.
Dude, that's wild.
But GoldenEye took it to that next level.
Yeah.
Halo didn't influence anything other than Call of Duty, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely advanced that like first-person shooter type thing, and like
I mean, it once you started.
Destiny, I'd say Destiny kind of follows.
Yeah, but
suit
Destiny's
with,
kind of a fad
Yeah.
thing too. Like, nobody really plays Destiny anymore.
dude, GoldenEye, based on criteria alone.
I don't think there were any fighters on that. You'd think there'd be a. Oh wait, no, Street Fighter was on there.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Okay, there were two
Mortal Kombat
fighters.
was
Combat should definitely be on there.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Double Dragon,
Yeah.
that's a classic fighting
Yeah.
game, man.
Bimmy and Jimmy.
Yeah,
It's the world's biggest error on a 8-bit. It's supposed to be Billy and Jimmy
Yeah.
as the brothers. It's Bimmy and Jimmy.
Jeez.
Dude, Double Dragon's so good though. I still play that
Yeah.
on Nintendo.
I don't think I've ever played that.
Bro, it's so good. It's like where you're like a really small person and you're running like you're in the streets and the buildings are like behind you and you just move like sideways and you can move just up and down and forward and fight and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So dope. It's so good.
That's like those old school like 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or X-Men games.
Just like
I love the
the
X-Men.
original
game.
Turtles one was so good.
Turtles is good too.
Both their arcade games are great.
Area 51's my favorite arcade game.
Oh,
shooter.
man. Area
Love that
51's
game.
dope.
That and Resident Evil 3 with the shotguns
Yeah.
is
That's one of my favorite types
amazing.
of games are the arcades, the ones where you have like the actual gun and you can
Yeah.
shoot people and stuff.
especially if you get one that's like really well calibrated.
Yeah.
It's on.
You guys ever play like that truck stop one? Like where you're like a truck stopper in like a big semi truck. You get out and you start shooting like hillbillies and shit.
No, I've never
This was
seen that
my dad
one.
was a truck driver. We stop at every one and they'd have it at every single one. Dad, I'm shooting truckers. This is awesome.
Dude, that's fantastic. I love
Did you guys ever
we need
play,
to go to
uh,
David Buster's.
Did you guys ever play? I think it was called Deer Hunter,
I played Deer Hunter, yeah.
where you're the deer and you're
Yeah,
hunting
yeah.
all the hunters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. You would like
Wow.
you throw out like porn magazines and stuff, and
Yeah.
they'd come running for it. And you just shoot them.
Yep.
It was classic.
Dude,
That was an old one.
it is old.
What's the one that Nick likes? Hydro Thunder. That's
Hydro
his
Thunder's
favorite
dope.
game.
Hydro Thunder.
Cruising
Yeah.
USA.
Never played that
Cruising
one.
USA.
You ever
Holy
played that?
shit.
What's Cruising USA?
It's like a race car game, but
That's an
it
arcade
started
game.
in the arcade though.
Is it
and then
the
was on
old one? Because I played old racing games where it's just like
Cruising USA. No, you had like Supras.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I
it
didn't
was
play that
dope, but it ended up transferring over to 64.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like, man, cruising, you would do the double tap of the gas and your car would go.
Yeah.
You had the
Okay,
gear
I've played
strap.
that. I've played that.
Dude, Cruising USA was so dope. I
Mm.
used to play it at Fuddruckers on
Oh
the
my
hill and
God.
Fairlawn. All the time. I'd ride my bike there to play that game. man.
Fuddruckers, man.
One of my favorite places to eat.
Fold the napkin and it says fuckers. It's great.
All gone. Cruising USA was a classic arcade game.
Yeah, I remember that. Now that you say that thing,
Yeah, dude.
I'm there.
I used to just shift and drive. Like,
Yeah.
man, that shit's so fun.
Damn, I never realized how many video games I've played in my life.
Yeah. Bro.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of games, man. I put some hours in on that.
Did you guys ever play Flight Simulator on computer?
Dude,
Yeah.
You
I
like build your plane and you actually like, dude.
I had Combat Flight Simulator where it was World War II,
Mm-hmm.
and that there was an Eiffel Tower like Paris map, and you could fly under the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
The dudes would
bro.
be right on my ass. I'd just be like, whoom, and they just blow up behind. We'd put on like unlimited missiles, and I'd put on like 15 enemies, and they always start in the horizon. So I'd
Yeah.
just be like, and you just see fireballs in the sky. So fun.
Training kids to be a menace.
the real one though, like it was so realistic. Like they actually used that to train pilots and stuff. Like you could,
Yeah.
that game was
The
so
Flight Simulator.
dope, man.
I played there was a computer game my neighbor used to have called Strip Poker.
Oh,
And-
yeah?
And it really did have like, like it was these 8-bit girls that like
my
if you beat them, like we would
God.
play till midnight, but we'd never get that
awesome.
last hand.
Like Tomb Raider.
It would always, yeah, pretty much.
Dude, a game that definitely
Jump
needs
off
to
the
be in the
fountain.
Hall of Fame. Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Why is that not in the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame?
Is it computer games too?
I think so.
Well, yeah, I said Sims, didn't it? You
Sims was on there, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Roller Coaster Tycoon's a class.
That should be in there.
I
That
like-
should be nominated.
I wish I
right
could
now.
still own that. Like
you could get it on your phone.
It's not the same.
It's pretty
I want
freaking
the
good.
original that you have to play on Windows PC.
I like Tycoon more than Sims personally.
I do too.
Absolutely.
I like
Roller Coaster
Tycoon better
Tycoon's
than
the
any of those.
Best game.
Mm-hmm.
Best fucking game. That
The worst thing though is that all of the people would never ride my roller coasters because they were
Mine was
always
too
way
extreme.
too crazy.
I always get the real extreme. Nauseous was like 5 stars.
Yeah,
Fast
they're coming
Speed
out
was 5
puking
star.
right away. I'd have a guy just like on a
Me
10-foot
too.
strip, just all right. I'm gonna sweep up puke all day.
Doesn't your shit get closed down though if you like
People
people
don't make money.
Just-
Yeah. I just wanted to make rides I wanted to ride, man.
They used to have
Loop,
cheat
loop,
codes
loop,
where they
loop.
would ride anything and they wouldn't be afraid.
Yeah.
But then the problem was they would all puke. Nobody had a tolerance high enough, so they just
Yeah.
puke everywhere.
Dude,
And then everybody's like, "This park is disgusting." And you
I'm
get
legit about to
terrible
buy
reviews.
a super cheap Windows laptop just so I can fucking play that game.
It's so good.
It's so you can buy a freaking Windows laptop for like $150.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure I
gonna
can
do that
still.
then.
I'm sure I can still buy that game.
Shit, your headphones
You don't
cost
think you
more
could
than
get
that.
like the original game on a regular Mac now?
I don't believe it's. I want the original though, not where they got the newer ones where it was like 3D and making the
No,
ride.
I'm saying.
I want Roller Coaster Tycoon version 1.
Yeah.
That's
You don't
it.
think that they can make that like a? I'm sure it's out there.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get that.
Gotta be able to play.
But if not, I'm just gonna buy one of those little like Acer like cheap Windows based laptops, and
Yeah.
that game is so classic, man.
I used to just kill everybody in the park all the time. If my park shut down, deleting that last little bit of pavement so you can't get out.
Did you ever?
10,000 people drowning at once. Put them up on a thing and just drop them in the water.
Did you ever take the time to actually like I used to spend a lot of time on my like landscaping.
Oh yeah.
and making all my park like symmetrical and like all my restaurants and stuff were nice. And I'd make big plazas with trees and flowers and water fountain. Like I went.
I would always have
hardcore, man.
one giant restaurant area where you could have all your options in one place, and then that would branch off to a scenery area where you could go and look, and they would have different types of scenery. So I'd have like
Yeah.
an Egypt area, and then I would have like a Roman area, and I would have like all the entertainers dressed the right way, and they'd be running around like, "Hey," and yeah, my stuff was legit. It
You get lost for hours in that game.
was great.
We should get to sports.
That's true.
I've taken
We're talking
enough
about
of your
video
Video games
games
are
for
so
like
much more
10
fun
hours.
though.
I've taken enough of your time.
Dude, I gotta get that game. Roller Coaster Tycoon. All right, sports it is. What is that? Locker room talk?
Swung on right in deep left field. It is gone! 45, 40. Run, William, run! 20, 50. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the
This is locker room talk.
Speaking of that soundbite, that just happened 4 years ago yesterday? 4 years ago
The
Friday.
locker room talk?
The LeBron James
Yeah.
the championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was like 4 years ago, a day ago.
Yeah.
2 days.
2 days ago
19.
Friday.
Yep. Father's Day, 2016. LeBron's birthday.
Father's Day 2016. Was on the 19th?
It's on the 19th.
So Juneteenth.
Yeah.
LeBron won them a championship.
That's what I was thinking too.
Man. God, we need another one of those.
That was a historic. Like, if you go back, there's
Bro.
all these things that are like the date added up to 216.
Yeah.
like,
all those
All
things.
of that crazy stuff that, like, it was weird the amount of stuff that all came out of that. It was meant to be.
Well, I remember when Stipe won the title, it was within 2 minutes and 16 seconds into that
Yeah.
round. So, yeah.
So wild, man.
That was a great year. We got everything
Ooh.
except for the Indians. But
They got the
whatever.
original Roller Coaster Tycoon on Xbox.
Oh, there you go.
On the original Xbox, though.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, sports. What do we got for sports? I'm still hooked.
Still
this freaking
bleeding
video
over
game.
into other segments.
So a bunch of people in sports are getting COVID.
Yeah.
So even more issues are going to ensue with delay of seasons. And I mean, potentially Zeke got it and he was all pissed off because it got leaked that he had it.
Yeah, he did not release the information, and neither did his agent. So he's been tweeting, like, basically saying that they're HIPAA violations,
It is though.
and he doesn't know who leaked it. But
What? He would be required to release that info, wouldn't he? I mean, I
No.
get it's still a HIPAA violation, but
no.
wouldn't he do per his role in the league and everything have to tell people he had COVID?
He could isolate on his own. Media-wise, all that they had to release on the report is due to illness. So they would not have said that it was due to COVID.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I'm sure people would have figured it out.
Oh, yeah.
But
he got it. A bunch of NCAA players got it.
Like everybody in like Clemson has a ton of players.
Yeah.
LSU has a ton of players. It's bad. I mean, those are contending teams.
Yeah.
You can't have 20 guys going. I mean, Clemson has, I think, 23 guys that are influenced right now or infected. LSU, I think, had like, I don't remember how many they had. Maybe LSU had 23. One of them did, but
Clemson.
One was like 12 or 13. One of those schools.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people though. Like, I understand college programs are a little bit bigger, but like, you got that many people, they can't run practice anymore.
Nope.
Even if they're practice squad guys, they're not able to do that. If they're second stringers, you're not able to do that. Like,
was it MLB that I just sent you guys the link this weekend that canceled all practice?
Yeah, with at the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League.
Yeah.
And then,
because Arizona's getting all that spike, that's where they were going to play.
NBA,
Florida too. Yep.
The NBA, they made them sign a contract that states they cannot leave campus, like the Disney campus, wherever they're staying.
And that's interesting how they enforce that.
They cannot go out. They have to stay there.
Lockdown.
Because I mean, the numbers have spiked so much. Then if one of them gets it and it spreads, they're on lockdown.
There's a lot of people torn right now too. Like,
that's it, man.
There are a lot of players that are being very vocal, saying like, fuck that.
I was going to say, as a player, do you want to even play in the NBA this year? If you're stuck there and you can't do anything.
A report came out on Tuesday that 9 of the NBA owners said that opening is a bad idea, that they're totally against it. They'd rather sit the season out and do it next season.
Yeah.
So
the thing is LeBron wants to play.
Yeah.
And that's a big voice to fight against. Because you got guys, if you look at guys like Damian Lillard,
does he really want to play?
$140 million contract over the next couple of years. Are you going to risk it and be locked down for, I mean, the NBA playoffs are a long period of time, plus the end of the year play-in that we have to play. So we're looking at a couple of months that you're going to be locked down in Orlando in this area, regardless of how big it is. This is just an estate. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, man.
Are you going to do that for
4 months, 4 months?
And he's getting paid like $1 million for the rest of the season. Are you going to do that for $1 million?
No.
If you're making 140 million, that's a drop in the bucket. You're not doing that.
So if someone, say hypothetically the seasons don't happen this year, and we had somebody sign for 1 more year, is this it? Is this their last year?
Yeah.
So like even though they didn't play, we don't have them next year.
It depends on how their contract's written. In some cases, if you don't play a certain amount of games, but I'm sure that they did before the shutdown happened. So I would think that this is their last
say
year.
It was like, okay, so let's say it's NFL, so they haven't played this season yet, but we were to have them. This is their last season with the Browns.
Yeah,
and the season gets canceled this year. Then they're out of their contract. They're free at that point.
So when it comes to the NFL and that type of situation, I'm sure that would go to the players' union, because you're going to be looking, because you're going to have, if it's going to depend on the situation. So in some situations, you're going to have a guy like Myles Garrett. He's looking at getting a major extension probably this year, because next year is his last year. He's going to want that extension. They're going to try and dumb it down. I'm sure he's going to go, no, I don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. He'll probably get the extension done this year because of that. But in another case, let's say Myles really wanted to leave. That team's not going to want a Myles Garrett level player to go, but because they couldn't negotiate, now they've lost their chance to get that deal done where they would have this year. They're going to try to pull well, you didn't play your league minimum 6 games, so you're ours for the following year. Because that's what happened with Josh Gordon when he got suspended. We had him forever.
I think that's fair, though. Like, you didn't get anything. You paid him still his contract, but you didn't get anything out of, possibly a winning season or anything from him.
Well, and that's the other thing is, if they cancel the NFL season, they're not getting paid. We'll see what happens with that, because
that's true.
And I think it's easier to make that argument when you don't play a game all season anyway. But look at the NBA; they had 20 games left in their season.
Yeah, for sure.
So they've already played a majority of their season.
NBA is different, but if it was like the MLB or
plus the NFL,
and they, this was like our last year to have Lindor say. And the season got canceled,
right?
So we just lost our last season with him, and he would go to
probably. The thing is because the NFL is the least player-friendly league, so those guys are going to be stuck. Myles Garrett wants to go, you ain't going nowhere, because those owners are going to get what they want. NBA, you have a lot more power. MLB, those guys didn't for a long time, but they're rallying together.
Right now they are.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just curious about that. With everything going on, like that would suck. You're letting me know you were out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, Fauci came out and said that they're going to have to play in a bubble, and then Trump came out and said that they're doing their own thing. And I'm like, okay, well, why is the NFL allowed to do their own thing when you're required to do a mask at your job and get locked down by the state and do all these other things? Why couldn't all these other businesses do their own procedures and protocols and be trusted to do the right thing if the NFL is?
Yep.
I think that's some bullshit.
They are starting to bring fans back to the WWE.
Are they?
Yeah. So like this week on Raw was a monumental one because up until now they've been putting their developmental talent in the audience. So like basically wrestlers in the minor leagues, they'd get about 20 of them and just kind of scatter them out in the audience. Now they've actually got some fans out there. It's about 20 fans, 20 NXT talents now. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but with all those players, like those Dallas Cowboys, I think they said that there were like 10 players that were infected. Yeah. Zeke was one of them. You get one star, like, okay, most of them don't show symptoms and they're probably all going to be okay because they're healthy and they're young. But there are young, healthy people that have been having that permanent lung damage and stuff, and there's some that have died. If Zeke was the one, that league is not starting this year. If you get a major player, a DeAndre Hopkins, Tom Brady, somebody like that who gets it and has permanent lung damage where they can never play again, you are going to lose a major lawsuit. God. And that, especially if they're young, like a Zeke type player who's got years and years left to play in the league, they're going to win the lawsuit against you. The league is not playing this year, so you're going to lose a ton of money because you can't. You can't take that risk with. I mean, these are your assets as an owner, is what they look at them as, basically. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to let it happen.
And that responsibility falls on you as an owner.
And Jerry Jones hasn't said shit.
And of course he hasn't.
I mean, that's terrible.
You know, if Brady died, though, man, they'd get Thanos to walk the world, and he'd just go.
Could you imagine?
I'll assemble it myself and snap us away.
Jeez.
I mean, the whole world would shut down, dude. Like the sun would not rise the next day.
Dude, you think I cried during Kobe? If Tom Brady died, I'm gone for a week.
Man,
that would be terrible.
I'm telling you, man. His next Christmas present is going to be a Browns jersey with Brady's name on it.
Yes.
Dude, I would wear it. Yeah. I'd wear the hell out of that.
Yeah. Jesus.
I'd love to see Brady play for the Browns. I wouldn't even care.
What a Brady jersey, a Brady Steelers jersey.
Never in my life. If Brady played for the Steelers, every ounce of love that I've ever had for him is gone immediately.
Really?
100%.
You would write him off if he got drafted.
I would never cheer for him again.
So it's always more the team than the player with Jesse then. So
100%.
Okay. This is good to know.
Joe Hayden, I loved him. I have a signed pair of
but not
we did him dirty, so I respect him. But no, I loved Joe. I have signed custom Believe Land Converse with the orange and brown that I made myself, signed by Joe Hayden at home. And I've never worn those or pulled them out of the closet since he left. Now, I give him a bit of an excuse because we did him real dirty and just cut him.
Yeah.
And it was bullshit.
That was kind of Cleveland.
But that's the only reason why it's not full.
Tom Brady got traded to the Steelers, you would write him off.
I find that
I wouldn't
hard.
root for him again. If he was traded, I probably wouldn't hate him because it's not his decision. But if it was like a forced trade or if he just went in free agency, done.
Wow. Jesse's ruthless.
Done.
I hate the Steelers, man.
I hate the Steelers.
I'll say
Same
this.
thing for the Warriors. I loved Andy. Anderson Varejao?
Oh, yeah.
He's dead to me.
I hate Golden State.
But that was also Cleveland, though, too, man.
It was, but he was kind of a dick, though. He had some choice words and played a little iffy in some of them games. He was kind of a little bitch.
I mean, people when Zydrunas Ilgauskas went to Miami, people were kind of writing him off too, and I'm like, but he wanted a fucking ring.
That was a different situation though, because he
took an ad out in the paper.
He went there, gave us an apology, and then they sent him back like a couple weeks later or something, and then he ended up going back the year later after his contract was done, because the initial trade was like basically like a cap space move, and he was going to get moved back in 2 weeks, and everybody knew it. But like, it wasn't the same. LeBron leaving wasn't the problem. It was the way LeBron left.
Yeah.
That's why nobody hates him now.
Yeah.
He left the right way.
He still should be here.
He'll be back.
Hopefully.
When the league fixes it and puts his son on the Cavs, and
He's just literally stole my words. Like I was literally about to say that.
he'll play when he's 40, and he'll still be averaging 23 points a game. And
Probably.
So speaking of NCAA,
mm-hmm.
college sports issues,
Yeah.
what's going on with this sexual allegations debacle that's going on?
So it's not really a college issue as much as it's a.
Isn't it for college?
It is, but it's a government issue
Okay.
because Betsy DeVos, the head of our education in America, who's never been an educator, but whatever.
It's dumb.
She basically changed a bill or proposed a new bill. I don't know which one it was, but it now allows for coaches and other team professionals to no longer be required to report any type of sexual misconduct that is brought to their attention by players.
What
so
the fuck?
Yeah. So right now, if anybody were to come to a coach or, Urban Meyer, whoever, Ryan Day, and say, hey, Ezekiel Elliott assaulted me at this party last night, they are required to report that, which would then obviously lead to an investigation. With this new bill intact, they are no longer required to do so. And I'm pretty sure that bill came to light because of Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky in Penn State.
Right.
So which was a terrible thing that went on for decades.
The only thing that I could imagine, the only reason I could see her wanting to do this is to protect the colleges and finance. Like, what other reason would you not want to
That was my question.
require them?
It also allows for the colleges to approach it in their own way.
They can do their own investigation, like quietly.
But there's no way of saying what that investigation looks like, though. So there's no like parameters that say you have to bring in both parties and interview them, and you have to do this and that. Like,
they're not required to divulge it to what, like, to who?
So essentially, right now, you would have to I believe it's like a head of a university or something. I would assume.
So now who do they tell?
You don't have to.
You don't have to tell anybody.
You don't have to tell anybody.
So you could just not investigate it whatsoever.
Ryan Day could be like, what? Am I star quarterback? No, fuck that. I'm not going to say anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now there's
I just thought maybe it was like they don't have to disclose it like publicly. It needs to stay within the university.
No, they could just be like, no.
Fuck that.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins? Nope. No, we're not going to.
Fuck that.
Betsy DeVos got tired of the Brock Turner memes.
Bro. That's so sketchy though.
Yeah. And that's my thing is it's like
that's actually was passed.
That's in effect as of right now.
Bro, no way, man.
Like I understand. Like I understand that you're trying to protect your people, because I get that people. We've had this conversation in the past where
allegations come
out against famous people all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when it happens over and over and over again, like you have to take each one seriously. You can't just let it slide, especially
you have
in
to
college.
Still investigate it and say, okay, this was not true. And
there has to be consequences, or there cannot be a redemption.
Right. I mean, for the longest time, these guys couldn't sell a jersey, but now we're allowed to essentially rape somebody, and we don't have to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me, man.
Like, we don't even have to look into it. Okay. Like, I don't care who it is. Like, if one of you, if somebody came to me and was like, yeah, Chris and Ryan tried to rape me, I'd be like, probably going to look into that. Like, I'm not just going to be like, yeah, guys, we'll just do the show. Fuck it. I forgot that even happened. Like, who's not going to do that, though?
Stamp us guilty right away.
Right.
Just like, I'm the host now.
You mean just now?
Where have you been?
Dude.
Yeah. I mean,
that's wild to me.
It's grimy, man. And that's across the board. How many universities are out there? You're telling me. Like,
not that it should matter. This is coming from a female.
Yeah.
Which is even more shocking to me.
And to me, I go with Ryan's question. So I asked this about that time portal we were talking about earlier. What's the positive that comes out of this? Like, as a legit question, like, what are we trying to gain positively from this?
It's just making the coaches' lives easier and making money go into pockets. There's less of a chance that you're going to lose a star player. There's less of a chance that your coach is going to get distracted or have to focus on something other than football.
I want to see what the uptick is in alleged this happening.
And I do
what do you mean?
Like, I want to see now that players and stuff know that they're not really held accountable.
But you'll never know.
Well, people might still come out on their own, but they don't have to disclose it as far as I guess at this point, if it happened to you, I just want to go to the coach.
For me,
I'd go to the police or go to someone else.
I would rather it be something that is required to be looked at, because God forbid if I don't do something, and it turns out to be true, that's going to reflect your entire. I mean, look what they did to Penn State.
Yeah.
They stripped titles. They took their coach away. He died because of it. I mean, you shut down scholarships. You couldn't offer scholarships, I think, for like 3 years they weren't allowed to.
It was one step above the death penalty, pretty much.
They completely decimated that program for years. How they ever recovered is a miracle.
Yeah.
I thought that Penn State was going to fall to the ashes after all of that stuff happened.
Yeah. They were bad for like 2 or 3 years, but then they've come back up again.
They had the history to be able to bounce back once all of that stuff was gone. But like, it was just crazy. And to have that to the point where now I wouldn't want to take the risk. If I'm Ryan Day, Ohio State, one of the biggest college campuses, or Nick Saban down in Alabama, I'm going to report everything. I don't give a damn what this says, because look at all the shit Urban Meyer got because he let stuff kind of slide. That follows him forever.
Yeah.
People think that he's a winner and they think that he's great, but they also think Aaron Hernandez. They think Terrell Pryor was
talking the other player with Hernandez.
He had a bunch of sketchy stuff that had happened. I can't think about it now, but there was other stuff with Ohio State later on where there's questionable things. I mean, Zeke used to do dumb stuff.
Yeah, Meyer's done some interesting decisions before. Like, a lot of people get on Tressel a lot, but I think Meyer's dirtier.
Yeah,
personally.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do too. Tressel, I think, made a mistake.
Yeah.
I think Tressel's a good man. I think Urban put winning above everything.
Yeah,
but whatever, got me a ring.
Hashtag priorities.
Couldn't get to the button quick enough.
Hernandez was Florida. Urban Meyer. Ohio State. Urban Meyer is great.
Didn't happen on my watch.
That's right. That was Tebow's job, man. He should have saved him.
Wow.
Oh man. It was a great team,
Jesse.
though. It was a great team.
So before we move on, in summary, Betsy DeVos is an idiot. Go on.
Big time.
UFC fight night a week ago.
Yeah, it was not Saturdays, yesterday's, but the week before.
It was the week that Evil Eye fought, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the other guy, what was his name?
Johnson.
Shoot, where was it at? Max Roskopf.
Yeah.
He was fighting in one of the main cards, and he was trying to call his fight, and his coaches would not, or his cornerman or whatever would not call the fight. And now it's being investigated by the UFC because of it. I don't know how you get away with that. My thing is why can't he as the fighter? He as the fighter can just say, I'm not fighting, right? Does it have to come from?
Yeah, he can walk out. I mean, the only thing is that looks worse on him in terms of, so if he walks out of a ring and he just says, I'm not fighting anymore, that's on him.
That's what ended up happening. He ended up just telling the or the ref, whatever, I'm done.
Yeah, because Dana White's number one rule is always just don't walk out. Like, that's always the thing you don't do.
Yeah.
You alert people, you do whatever you got to do. So yeah, it's tough because this is actually the second time this has happened. This case that you're bringing up here, this wasn't the one that I was talking about.
Okay.
So there's another one that happened like last week or 2 weeks ago. I cannot remember the fighter now. I'd have to look it up. But they too were in the cage and they're getting pounded the whole time. And it's a one-sided fight. Like, they're doing 10-8 rounds, which is rare.
Yeah.
And Dana White got pissed in the press conference afterwards. He said, this kid's coaches should be fired. The whole staff should be gone.
Yeah, man.
I'm pissed off about everything that's going on. Yeah, this is commonplace now.
That's just crazy to me. Like, if you're responsible for this kid's life, I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And he's telling you, like, I need you to call this fight, and you don't? It's so sketchy, man. Like, the dude's obviously not going to win if he's telling you to call the fight.
Yeah. And I think there's more pressure now because fights aren't as much of a sure thing now with everything going on. So it's like you'll get on one card, but you might not fight again for another year.
And I get that. But, like, if it's the fighter saying call, I could see if it was reversed. The fighter wanted to fight and the corner didn't want you to. And you're like, screw this. Is like my one opportunity. I'm fighting. But, like, the fighter's the one in there.
Sure.
And he's saying, I'm done.
Yeah, that should be it.
Like, you're in the corner. You're not out there fighting. You're not getting your ass handed to you.
It's your record. So if you want to call it, call it.
Right. It should ultimately be their decision. And that's just sad. There's a lot going on with the UFC, though. It's crazy.
I have some breaking news.
Ooh.
And this is mostly for you, Chris.
Exclusive.
Did you see?
Don't tell me we signed Andy Dalton's sister now.
No, this is wrestling.
Oh, I saw this.
Oh,
Undertaker.
yeah, Taker. Yeah.
Undertaker retires after 30 years?
It's crazy, bro.
The way they did it is awesome. So the Bulls Last Dance documentary that came out this past June, there was like a 10-part series on it. WWE mirrored that and made what they called The Last Ride, which is the Undertaker's finishing move. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And this was a 5-episode documentary that spanned over the last 5 years of his career. And it led to the final episode was today. It aired this morning, and I watched it, and it was at this year's WrestleMania. People were hinting, like the way it ended and everything, they said this feels like the end for him, but nothing was solidified until this morning. So on the documentary, he talks about it, and he goes, this feels like the perfect ride off into the sunset, because he literally rode off on a bike in the last match. And he said, if I never wrestled again, I feel for the first time that I'm at peace with that. And it was a good ending. It was a cinematic match. It wasn't your typical match. That's how it's filmed and everything. It was multiple cameras, like a movie set, and everything was done entertainingly more than a match. So yeah,
I can't imagine that, man. Like even like Jordan or Braun when his day comes, or Kobe when he retired.
Yeah,
that's your life.
Taker was 30 years.
30 years in that, and then to just walk away. That's
longer than I've been alive.
So hard, man. Yeah. Like Austin, like that's got to be so emotional. Like, I mean, that's all that dude knows, man. That's just so crazy to me.
How old is he?
60s, right?
Boy looks
no,
old.
I think he's high 50s.
Yeah. He's been getting his ass beat for the last 30 years.
Yeah, he's been beating ass for 30 years.
Well, that too, but still, I mean, you're just your body in general.
Yeah, he's like high 50s.
That's sad.
Most wrestlers, like if they've been there a long time, they transition to be a road agent with the company. So they'll go backstage and they'll start kind of acting out matches for talent.
Yeah.
Go, do this. We're going to script it out this way and all that.
Yeah.
So he could go on to do that.
So how do they determine that though? Like you've got some major stars that have gone through it. Would they have kept The Rock for 30 years if he wanted to stay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of you're popular, you're going to stay, you're going to keep winning, and then we'll finally let you go when it's your time, unless you physically can't do it anymore type of thing.
Yeah. And this was, he talked about this, The Undertaker, on like part 2 or 3 of this documentary. And he said like all the guys that have come and gone, like, so he talks about The Rock. He says The Rock was here it was 5 years, and then he left for Hollywood. He talks about Austin.
The Rock was only 5 years?
5 years, that's it.
Damn.
Short-lived.
He talks about Austin, how he was in the WWE for about 6 years, and then injuries caught up to him because Austin came in late in his career.
God, it feels like they were on for so much longer than that.
He was in WCW before WWE for about almost 10 years. So his career, like he came into WWE late. Shawn Michaels was on and off for about 15 years. So yeah, he talks about all these guys, and he says the hardest thing, and he even compared it to LeBron James, funny enough, he says you have to stay healthy through all this. That's a big thing, is like training your body to do this for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then,
especially a dude that big. He's a big guy, man.
And he said he had 4 hip replacement surgeries. He's had 8 knee surgeries. He's
kept going.
Yeah, kept going.
What kind of money do those guys make?
Someone like Taker, I mean, Taker's top of the line, and he's the ultimate dog for respect in that locker room. Everybody looks up to him. So he's probably around the 4 to 5 million per match. Kind of thing. Yeah.
How many matches do you have like in a year?
Well, it depends. There's different people. So Brock Lesnar gets a nice contract because, he's the big dog too.
Right.
He'll come in and wrestle 5 or 6 times a year, and he'll make probably around $10 million total.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but your typical contract, like minor leagues starting off, the bare minimum is $250,000.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yep. But you got to think too, what sucks about being a wrestler, you're paying for all of your surgeries.
Oh yeah.
There is no union for wrestlers. They've been talking about this for like 30 years. Yeah. They pay for their own surgeries. They pay for any rehab they go through. It sucks.
Yeah.
And being one of them, not to the level of Taker, obviously, but being a pro wrestler like I was for 8 years, it ain't worth it.
It's a lot. I mean, and they're on the road all the time, man. That is like a 365-day-a-year job. Like, it's nonstop for them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to a contender spot where you're like up there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the road so much.
I was going to ask you, Chris. So you did that for 8 years, right? And it was similar to like WWE in terms of like the production and all that other stuff.
Well, no, obviously nothing is like WWE.
Right, but did you have like the gimmicks and stuff behind your character?
Yeah.
So what was your
I had many gimmicks. So like I did the backyard wrestling for 10 years and then I did independent wrestling, which is in the ring. It's, it is WWE style wrestling for 8 years. So in independent, I had 2 characters. I was Scott Steele, who was the Hollywood heartthrob. He was basically a porn star. Fans hated him and I freaking loved playing him. Yes. There was no character that I loved more. And then Scott Steele got amnesia during one of the matches in a storyline, and I turned into who was called Enigma. And Enigma was just a wacky, crazy dude.
Okay.
Not necessarily sinister, but more like, jokester. And, this dude's definitely lost a nut or two up in his head.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
Steele, man.
One of my favorite Sunny in Philadelphia episodes. Do you guys ever see that one?
I never watched it.
They decide that they want to be wrestlers. They want to put on a show for the troops.
I've seen this one.
So they go in and they're like these guys, they've got wings on their arms and they're like, patriotic eagles, and they get Rickety Cricket to be basically a terrorist. But he's just tired of like putting up with their shit. So you got all these wounded vets watching this thing, and they won't let Frank in. Frank's like, I'm gonna be the trash man, and he's like, just whatever. So they go in to fight him, and Cricket immediately throws sand in their face and just starts kicking the shit out of them. So all these vets are getting pissed, and at the last second, Frank comes in with a trash can and hits Cricket and just like gouges his jugular. He's bleeding out. He's like, oh shit, did I get you, Cricket? And it's one of the best endings to the show of all time. It's so good.
Never seen it.
He's just like eating like banana peels out of a trash bag and stuff. It's so good.
It's crazy though. Like with those characters, you kind of have to be careful who you create because it follows you everywhere. So like I would be after a match, all the wrestlers would load up the truck. We'd take apart the ring and all that. It was everybody's responsibility. And I had fans that would come to me sometimes and they'd say, fuck you, Scott Steele, and all that. And they, like one time, dude, I got a drink thrown at me. Seriously, I'm loading up the truck. Something hits me right in the back. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Some kid ran into his car and took off.
They'd look at you as that character.
Yeah.
Like there's people in like WWE that people like hate.
Yeah.
And that follows them.
I don't
even
think
though that's not, it's a character, but
I don't think of it as a character.
I don't think of
I don't think of Stone Cold as anything other than Stone Cold.
I know.
Well, that's close to who he is.
Right.
If you watch his podcast, he is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Even The Rock, though, it took so long for me to not think of him as like
when you
The Rock. Like he was not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He was The Rock for the longest time. Like get that Dwayne Johnson shit out of here.
Right. And fans hated him when he first started too, man. Because he was called Rocky Maivia before he was The Rock. And he had this long frizzy hair, and he he used to come down. He was real green, and the fans would just hate him because it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel him.
I do remember Rocky Maivia, man.
They said, die, Rocky, die.
Yeah.
Die, Rocky, die. Like, oh my God.
Dude. Jeez.
So, it sucks with The Undertaker, though, because he's been the one stable for 3 decades. So,
yeah, longest standing continuously. They've come back for their like one match. And Donald Trump's the longest standing president to be a wrestler.
That's true. 3 WrestleManias.
Jeez.
He's in their Hall of Fame.
I know, dude. That's wild.
Freaking loser. He should do it now. Just go off the top wire.
Oh my
break
God. A hip. I think that's all we got for sports.
That's it.
That's all we got for the show. Is that it? Yeah, that's all. That's all we got for you this week, guys.
Brought to you by the Joe Biden Foundation.
No, that's false. Absolutely not true. Not sponsored. Vote smart, but vote. But don't vote just blue, true, red. I don't know. What's the saying?
Blue wave.
No, what's the saying? They're like, oh, vote blue no matter who or something. Yeah, vote blue no matter who.
Vote blue no matter who.
Don't do that stupid shit. Actually read up on who you're voting for.
Do that shit.
That's what bothers me about people who are talking about voting for The Rock. I'm like, you don't even know his policies yet.
Right. I probably would vote for The Rock, though.
I know, but dude,
you're preaching smart vote. Hit the button.
The Rock would actually have good policies.
How would you know?
Because it's The Rock.
He said nothing.
He would say world peace because The Rock says so.
Mr. President, what is it that you think? It doesn't matter what you think.
All right, guys. We will check you next week. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, listen, whatever else. Thanks for tuning in.
Podcast.
That's pretty good.